And with the split done, we are now on to Stream A. What can I want to make it a bit dramatic? FearX versus Geekay are playing up against one another. We got Demo and Ace of Pirate to take you through it. In this case, Geekay bringing seriously Trixt, x.ke, Blaz, and Neskin to this role here. Our region meta team, they are so strong in their own region, but how will they fare internationally? Whereas FearX have made it through their LCQs and got good boy Mephi, Benny, Nova, and Rin, of course, player that we've known for many, many years. And those two squads will be playing on these maps. So let's bring them up on the screen for everybody to see. Our first 5 are in. These are all best of 3s, remember? And first up, it is our Geekay pick with FearX starting on defense. Our second will be for FearX with Geekay on defense. And then going on to Consulate, that'll be our decider, with FearX having banned Clubhouse just before that. An interesting pick, I want to say. I really like enjoying Chalet and Bank and how they kind of face up in general, but I'm really curious to hear what the casters, the ones that have been following through all the matches, have to say. We're going to bring them up here, just kind of this little chat to see how it's all going to go, because I'm quite curious what our teams can bring, given that map pools, when you've come through LCQs or in underrated regions, you know, Ace, you've gone through Japan, you know, Demo, you've seen how it is in the world overall. What are we expecting out of them?
I think it's two very different stories, two very different teams that we have in terms of experience. I think it's probably the first thing we have to look at. Geekay have had a big rebuild this stage, of course, and we've seen some players move on to other teams, other regions as well. And Geekay, they didn't go down the avenue of, oh, let's just get, you know, more players in the MENA region, let's get them in. They went for the import system again. They've brought in Brazilians, they brought in French as well. That side is a very new project, who I think, Tim, can make a big impact, but they're up against a side who, as we know, for the past, what, 4 or 5 years, 6 years, all the experience at international events is going to be for FearX.
Yeah, like you said, Demo, it comes down to experience versus gun skill, I think, in a lot of cases. It's interesting to see that Oregon's not going to be played. We've had the map ban come in there. FearX, that's where they've had, I don't want to be too harsh, but that's where they've had all their success.
You know, it's 100%, yeah.
It's no surprise to see Oregon taken away. So this, for me, is really going to be a big test for FearX, and particularly that map pool. It's always the best of 3s where I've worried about them recently. Coming in here, there's going to be big questions asked of them from Geekay, and they've got to find those answers. You've spoken about imports. Of course, FearX have one of their own in the back line and the back room.
Of course.
They've got the international coach. They've got Dark in there that's managing things. So we'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at the first map, Tim. Chalet. Chalet has been allowed through, and that, for me, is probably Geekay's best map that they've played on during the MENA region. You know, they have looked just stalwart, extremely strong, where Chalet's one of those maps that we look at and we say, it's not so much about the strats, it's more about who can kill. Geekay, a team that hasn't been formed for too long, killing's kind of going to be in their blood. And I know some of the players that they have. Blaz, for example, I've known Blaz for a while. I've known him, obviously, inside the European community. We've seen him have a stint at NA, where he was like one of the top performers that the NA had whenever he's playing for Parabellum. You then look at him on Heroic. Again, maybe didn't work out to the same degree. But Blaz, in terms of the gun skill, he's the player who can pop off. He can grab the bull by the horns and just ram it into the floor.
We're going to see our bans coming in. No major surprises there. Ying, Monte, we're going to have Valkyrie and Solus taken out. The Valkyrie, there's always a lot of value in Valkyrie. You know, it's so easy to make a case, to make an argument for different defender bans at the minute, because, you know, you've got Azami, you've got Fenrir, you've got Solus, you've got Valkyrie, you've just got so many choices to go at, but nothing too surprising in that ban phase. The Monte is going to be an interesting one to watch over the next couple of days, over the next week. Demo, we were speaking about it yesterday. How much are we going to see those shields attracting the bans? Obviously, they've had the changes come in. They're in a reasonably powerful spot at the minute, and so we see it banned out straight away. I think it's going to be one of them. Maybe it depends on the players that are on the other team as well, and how much it's going to be a bit of a target ban towards people.
There are players in the world who are known for shields. You know, it happens. And there is one thing I have to mention. It's kind of the elephant in the room with both of these teams. They played each other at SI. FearX 2 of them.
And what was the score of the first map, Demo?
7-0.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
On Oregon.
It was a tough one
as well. So it's...
But I think it's fair to say GK, this time, and this is the first time we've really seen this from them at an event, are coming in with the roster that they've played through stage 1.
Yeah.
They've got consistency. They've got that stability that we've maybe not seen from them before. And that's going to be an interesting question to see how that plays out today. Are we going to see them sort of hit the ground running a little bit more?
Yeah, and I think they should have a lot of confidence. You know, GK coming into it, they don't really have a lot to prove. You know, they come from the MENA region. They're not expected to go and win this whole thing. But you would like to see them have a good performance. I think that's kind of what they want. They just want to have a good performance because we've seen teams lose games, but you can still say they played really well today, even though they lost.
Getting things underway then. We are well into our first round. Almost a minute in. We've got Trix bringing along the blitz. You're going to ban the Monte. We'll bring the other. Potentially use that to get on into sight. You can see this in position. There comes Blaz on the Amaru. He's going in looking for gunfights here. He knows there's one in the top, and he's going to find him. Seriously manages to pick up Nova along the way as well. Demic has one, but it looks like this could be over for FearX in this round. But no, they're fighting back. Demic and Mephi manages to find 3 kills between them in rapid succession, and that could be a real defining factor of this round. FearX just digging in and saying, no, we're not going to be run over in our own site.
It is Blaz in the 1v2 already. He has to come to the aid of his side. Doesn't have a lot of info. Diffuser cold. Swings. Look at the passion though from Demic. Just has to stay alive. Knows that Mephi will cover him. But Blaz now takes the approach, going to challenge the player in towards top fireplace. See both players just waiting for him. Blaz has individualized the guns fights. He's brought them into 2 1v1s, and he's from the draw. Now knows exactly where Demic is. The information will be fed through by his team. Reposition from Demic in towards the half wall. Don't think Blaz can vault through that. If he goes for the window, that will be heard, and it gives a sound away and a peek from Demic. It's the last thing that Blaz was expecting.
That was so winnable for Blaz. He'd got himself to that 1v1, but Demic just showing some real grit, some real nerve there. Steps up, takes the peak. Often in that sort of 1v1 situation, you're the defender. You may be going to be thinking, I don't need to be too aggressive here. I don't need to take this fight. I can set myself up for him to move into my ADS, but no, Demic feeling himself after 3 kills in the round already. Manages to pick up the 4th. Closes it out, and Demic showing why he's such an important player for this FearX side.
So one thing that we have to mention is the actual setup of how that round came about. We can see the classic kind of library hold that teams will do, where they open up a lot of just the horizontal angles. You'll play the shield in towards, you know, the blue area. You'll just stop them from getting to the library. GK see that and think, right, we're not going to send everything across that, because that's going to be quite difficult. A lot of time's going to be wasted from doing that. Let's go for a bit of a pocket rush. It's not like you're instant, oh, you're in the building within, you know, 20 seconds. It is a coordinated fast push. You see Secret have done that a lot in EUL, and it actually worked really well for them throughout the course of the season. But one thing that they were missing for that take, you're trying to send the blitz in through Office, you're having your Amari go in through Solar Window, and you have a player on the big window. The issue that you have is Ying's been banned against you, which is what you really need to create that cover and that chaos to get your players in. If there's a Ying being tossed in from double window, it will help that blitz out significantly. Blitz got shut down so quickly, he had no impact whatsoever, and that was probably the issue. You lose that blitz, you lose the player who was in towards Office, it allows the retake to happen from that half-wall position that we've seen.
Exactly, you're rolling the dice at that point, because when the blitz goes in, you're just kind of praying that the engagements are going to be at close range, so he can flash him with his shield, and as you say, as soon as they're not, we see what happens. But moving on into round 2 then, GK really did nearly make that work, to be fair to them. You know, even without those Candelas available, but FearX just dug deep and managed to get those kills in the mid-round that kept them in it. So we've got a minute off the board here. It's going to be games for our second site. FearX just chasing down a few drones, trying to prevent that intel game. Now, interestingly, Neskin's got himself into the basement here. Often we'll have players on the defensive side playing down there. He's just looking to allow x.ke to get in safely and open up that wall. Not only does he get that, he gets a double demo!
Oh, but here comes Demic, a player who single-handedly took them down. A down has happened as well in the midst of that. Mephi is down, but now out, but Nova swings as well. It is so fast. So much blood has been spilled.
And it's mostly come from the basement. We haven't even really seen too much fighting around site. Mephi, he's going to be picked up. That leaves us in a full 3 versus 4. He is low health, but Neskin needs to be careful here. He's dancing, he's ducking, he's dodging, he's trying to find his angle around the pillar here. He knows that there is a challenge to be had, but Demic, he has time on his side. He can just play here. He can hold Neskin, keeps him there for 20 seconds, but runs straight into the DMR of Seriously.
Yeah. Oh, but a great refrag though. Wasn't expecting a second, and Nova wins his crucial engagement inside of stock. Mephi will try and retake now using the keeper barriers, but I don't think he has really enough to run through now, and Blaz flash him out and will try and isolate the last player in the site. Knows where he is, and Blaz finds his kill, and x.ke wins his engagement. Great work there from Blaz, knowing that if I can kill the site player, it gives x.ke the go-ahead to move into the site.
Really, really smart play from Blaz there. We've spoken about his experience so far, and it just goes to show. You feel Mephi just a little bit unfortunate there. Doesn't quite have the coverage from the Kiba barricades to be able to switch sides, to be able to move to where he wants to be, and being low health, having been picked up only on 20 HP, it was a big ask for the Azami to be able to do anything in that situation. But this was it for me. Geekay's start to the round. Neskin goes in with the gridlock, just prevents any of those flanks coming onto the ace. Key's able to get onto stairs, open up that wall, but also finds a double. It was just such a big entry play coming in from x.ke there. Absolutely spot on start for Geekay. Really nice second round from them.
Both attacks for Geekay has been revolved around let's push where they're not. You know, it was a full extension across from the bedroom. They ignored that. They went solar take, playing fast. For that setup, in towards library, using the Azami, upstairs. We know how difficult going for an Azami is on Chalet, whenever you can just put them on every cabinet inside of reading. And then finally you just think, okay, let's just ignore that and let's just push below, because we know that they're not going to have enough to really hold basement. No one ever does. You don't hold basement. You might reinforce the wall, but you can just open it up. It's not really a big issue for the attackers. And if you get open that stock wall, it makes site so difficult to play in around. You know, that stock player is always the most crucial one that we see that defense have on a very heavy roam setup. As long as there's one gang connector, you know the site will be very, very safe. But if you just isolate that player, you take him out of the equation, site's pretty much free. What we've seen straight away from FearX, they realize that, and they try and go for a retake. But because you have the gridlock, you can stop that movement, you can stop the flanks from coming in, and yeah, Key picked up a fantastic double kill.
Heading into round 3 then, Mephi's going to be the player up on top floor. It is a basement hold coming in from FearX, but we're seeing that full map hold that we quite often see for down in the basement now. So it's going to be Geekay's job to try and get in there. They've got an opportunity potentially to isolate the 2 players on the top floor. Good Boy and Mephi, just get them screened off, get in there, get those kills, and you get yourself a major advantage before pushing onto site.
The only thing I don't necessarily like about the full top floor hold, I don't mind, you know, holding dining, holding trophy, but you do spread yourself very thin. You know, you look at the entire side of library, all it takes is like kind of one crouch walker and it could really upset you. But I say that though, Blaz has been taken out and they've just trade after trade as Demic found one before Seriously has eliminated Good Boy.
That's really big from FearX as a start there. Mephi and Demic find 2, but most importantly, they take down the ace. We haven't had any major breaching work done on site yet. Like you said, so far in the first 2 rounds, Geekay have tried to push where FearX weren't. This time, that opportunity was onto site, and they haven't taken it. And that actually might cost them in the later round.
Yeah, they've kind of fell into just a classic kind of roam, and straight away, the defenders know, okay, we've got 2 kills, we've lost 1, let's just go back to site and win. It's going to be very difficult to win from this position, because, again, losing that ace, that long angle that you would want to have for the vertical, it's going to be null and void now. But even, again, you've still got some issues, even with the Tabaro that you have to go through.
Geekay just don't really look like they know what to do at this point. It's like they've lost the ace. Where do we push? They're all back on site. It's kind of, you know, they're in and out of windows. They're not really confident in the ground that they've taken. Like you say, yeah, they're considering whether they're going to be challenged on flanks. It's all very difficult for Geekay to win this from here.
I don't know how they get through the Tabaro. This is now the kind of issue
they
have.
It's too late. Yeah.
You have still so many canisters left as well for Rin. Still 2 more remaining. You can't get that long angle open. Is no way they're going to be able to go for it, and they're just going to stack up. You're going to clog up into one door, and it should just be an easy 3-2-1. I hold this angle, and we swing all together. But if they start giving away picks like this, Tim, you start giving Geekay a chance of a fight.
That's it, FearX just need to hold their angles at this point. Rin manages to get one, Demic another, and they've played that final 15 seconds perfectly. The Korean side just closing it out there, shutting down Geekay. That roam just worked beautifully for them. Geekay, it's the first time we've really seen them play directly into FearX's hold. Like you've said, they didn't try to take the space this time. Instead, they went for the kills. They went to push Master. They went to push Solarium, where Demic was on the stairs, and it hurt them. They lost, especially sending the ace in to try and do it. The attacking onto basement, there are a few key things that you really need. Map control is one. You do need that vertical control, but you also really need to be opening at least 2 out of the 3 walls. You need trench wall open, you need the long angle open at the bottom of West Main if you can, and then a big bonus is getting that front side open to even just for phantom pressure.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. I think right from the get-go, if you're doing your spawns with your Thermite, your Thatcher, maybe bring a Nade or Zofia, something, just to stop a bandit trick happening, you get that front wall open and you just leave it. You don't have to sit there and hold that. You just have to have that open, so if you're defending, you know, there could be a guy. We don't know, but there could be a guy out there.
They did go there. The Thermite did go there at the beginning. I'd like to see that back because I don't know exactly what's gone on there because it obviously
that should be step one.
It obviously, well, I think it
one.
was. I think the intention was that it was step one. The Thermite goes there, but then the wall never got opened, and the Thermite moves away. And yeah, the Thermite's next job, for me personally, the Thermite's next job is get trench wall, because I much prefer that with a Thermite.
Your role, Tim.
Exactly.
I'm speaking to the expert.
You really are.
Any blitzes?
Get the main wall,
come to me.
Get round and get the trench wall, let Ace open the long angle, because all you need is a line of sight through that west main wall. A nice big breach on trench wall is what you're looking for. So you're not having to vault, you're not having to mess about, you can just run in, get your diffuser down once you've got that control. But yeah, I don't really know what happened. I saw the Thermite there, I saw him move away, there was some electrification, there was some denial there, so I think it was again just FearX's setup working well, and they just managed to keep that wall closed.
Another thing I like as well about the roam is actually going for the roam whenever you know you have strong operators like Fenrir. Fenrir in the dying stages of a round happened there to Geekay. We know how strong Fenrir is. He's so good. I personally think he's the best defender in the game. I know that you say, oh, but what about Solos, what about Azami? I generally do think he is so good because he fits so many roles. You can play him as a roamer, where you can set up all your traps in a mid-floor, which I'm pretty sure you had some of them. But then just for that final execute, because they're so difficult sometimes to find. There's some cracking spots, Tim, as we know, that you can place defender traps into. And yeah, just little things like that. And especially, like, immediately be thinking, okay, then you just bring like a Twitch and a Brava. Trying to fit that in, you know, into your lineup isn't always the easiest thing to do.
It's difficult when you're attacking somewhere like basement, where
you need the double hard breach and you need
EMPs. You need EMP. So all of a sudden, where now are you fitting your Brava in? Where does it, you know, you're starting to run out of options at that point on a basement defense. So yeah, really well played. We've got to give it to FearX. You know, nice setup. Had the top floor, had the spread through the map. Correct operators. The utility where they needed it, and also we've got to shout out Mephi and Demic. They are finding kills at the minute. They're going absolutely fantastically. They've got 10 between the two of them inside the first 3 rounds, and FearX's lead at the minute is being built on the back of the work that they are doing. It's really, really great stuff from them.
Don't forget, this is traditionally an attacker-sided map. You know, 4-2 attack is pretty good. Already they've got 2 defenses, and they still have, what, 3 more rounds to defend? This is setting up very nicely for FearX just because they had to start on the tougher side. Again, look, everything can change. We've seen it all the time, Tim. One team does really well on one side, but then just can't do it on another. I take Wolves, for example, where they've kind of had their defense attacker split in EOL this stage. It hasn't been the greatest in terms of how they attack. So, look, we'll not say anything just yet.
There's a lot of Siege to play yet, Demo. And speaking of which, we're going to head back into game very shortly, I hope. My fingers are crossed. I can see that the lobby is full. We've just had a quick technical issue there that has been resolved. I don't think it would be game 1 of day 1 if we didn't have a little tech pause thrown in there somewhere, Demo.
Yeah, I think it always happens, doesn't it? Just a couple of teething issues, but I'm sure we'll get through it. And one thing we haven't mentioned yet as well is Rin. We've mentioned, obviously, Demic, for example, has been, you know, stalwart in what he's been able to do, but Rin, over the course of the stage, has been the top performer in the league. We haven't really mentioned that yet, which is, I think, a little bit scary. If Rin's being quiet, what happens if Rin all of a sudden becomes loud? But look, you've known Rin for a while. You know, you can think back to that classic game you had against FaZe.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, yes.
Sweden, the Evla Major. It came down to the very final
Your favourite
round.
game, isn't it?
It's one of them. It's certainly, I'd say, tied first. It's up there in the way. We have had a couple of other bangers along the way that I've put up there with it. But yeah, going to overtime, map 3, FaZe versus Damwon at the time, and just an unbelievable finish. Came down to a 1v1 Rin versus Souls. And, it was a hell of a finish. But Rin is one of those players. Rin is, I would say, classic. I kind of class Rin as like an impact player. Either going to come in, get 3 kills, or going to come in and die in 30 seconds.
The thing is, they've stuck the best performer on the Clash, which is a little bit weird because you don't really see that. This is more of a role that you would stick your support player on, who will sit there and feed out information, not really the person you know, the best gunner on the side. You wouldn't really want them to have a shield as their weapon.
No, I think Rin, obviously we've seen sort of Rin move through a couple of teams now, a couple of different iterations, and I feel like, yeah, you know, obviously the role being played here is significantly different. I don't think that's necessarily the end of the world. As I've said, you know, historically from Rin, we have seen some fantastic plays, great ability, but also sometimes, if we're being honest, a little bit of over-aggression. We'll go in, die in 30 seconds and do that, you know, sort of chain rounds together like that, and it leaves the team on the back foot, and maybe, you know, fulfilling a little bit more of a supportive role along the way whilst having that gun skill in the back pocket. It could be a match made in heaven.
Bit of a stall here for Geekay. Not a lot happening within kind of the first half of the round. They've only just now gotten into a position to put the thermite charge on the wall, but denial will come in the form of a mute jammer. So they have to try and get through that some way. They don't have any EMPs, for example, so they're going to have to try and just shoot it off the wall as best as they can, but we know that's easier said than done. They will now move in and try and open up that main wall as well, but the Clash just causes them a lot of issues, because it's just that information. Being able to count where Geekay are pushing in from, okay, there's 3 guys lobby, they're probably just going to try and hit us on sight.
I love this from Rin, doing a great job at the minute in preventing that space, preventing that control for GK. FearX still got 5 alive, still got 1 up above. This is going to be very difficult, and that is exactly why, because the 1 above is able to use that verticality to clear off the second exothermic. Demo, there's only now hard breach gadgets left available from Blaz to get through that site reinforcement.
I don't know how that's being allowed to happen. No one holding the breach. Like, oh, it's so annoying. Honestly, he could have retaken above. He could have played Fireplace. Geekay really letting it slip there, and they look as though they're going to try and jump in through the windows, try and go in through Trophy, in through West Main, and they're going to do that as Blaz just walks straight up in the blue, and now he's in the heart of the site.
They've got no other option, really, other than to just push directly, but it's working for them as Seriously and Blaz. They managed to get 2. FearX were prepared for so much Demo, but they were not prepared for this. x.ke, he's going to be getting that diffuser down. It's a flawless round out of almost nowhere for Geekay. What a turnaround. What a mid-round adaptation to recognize the problem and say, you know what? There's only one answer here, and it's Route 1.
That is so difficult to do. The initial plan, you know, it's pretty basic. Open up the walls, go for the plant. We know that. We've seen it all the time. Whenever that doesn't work and you lose the thermite charge, their option really is, okay, we either have to push in against the Clash and push in the players above, so we have to take gunfights, or we just try and walk in and hope they're not watching. It's a bit of a hope. You're just hoping that FearX allow you to do that. You're putting the faith that FearX are going to misplay. But what I loved as well is that they were using the Flores to eliminate the Fenrir gadgets. A thing that I mentioned before of Fenrir, extremely strong, but it almost kind of lulled FearX into a false sense of security. Because you think, oh, if he jumps...
Very reliant on the gadget.
I have a Fenrir trap there, it's fine, we'll know. As soon as that's gone, and you don't know that's gone, all of a sudden they're in. And he removed the gadget that was holding the West Main window and also the stairs. Blaz timed it to a T. As soon as that Flores drone exploded, he moved in. I don't even think they could have reacted to that. You know, it's, yeah, so impressive to be able to play through that. And it's a little bit Brazilian-esque, the way that they've moved through that. We see the way Brazilians can play Siege, where they'll win out of absolutely thin air. And that's kind of what they've done.
Yeah, having that ability is, you know, it is a huge bonus for any team. I'd put BDS in the same category. They were one of them teams that, and always have been, where if the round isn't quite going their way, sometimes Sharko just runs into sight, gets 3 kills, and they win the round. And having that ability within the team is a huge, huge bonus. And it's, in honesty, not something that every single team has got. But GK coming out there, showing a great, great adaptation.
They have a Brazilian. Probably really get it.
Well, maybe that's where it's coming from. Neskin's just bringing in that spice.
And you have to remember who Neskin played with. He played with Alamau, who does that all the time. You see some of the rounds G2 when they'll win it out of it. There's something in it. There's something in the water about that.
Really, really good round from GK there. After a couple of mistakes, it has to be said, at the beginning, but they managed to turn it around. So we head into round 5, and we are absolutely no closer to knowing what is going to happen between these two. Neither has had any serious advantage so far. It's been round for round, back and forward, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. Neither has been able to get an advantage. GK on Chalet, you got to think they're looking for a 4-2 realistically here, Demo. So FearX at the minute, I would still give them a little bit of an edge. There's 2 rounds to play, and you feel like they've already got their minimum locked in. A 3-3 for them is brilliant on the defense, really, especially for a map that they're not great at playing. They're 1 win for 2 losses in recent history. They haven't won it for over a month. You know, Chalet is not a big pickup map for FearX. GK, they know this map and like this map. So, yeah, FearX are doing really well at the minute.
The way GK are playing, it's very lurk heavy. You know, there's not a lot really happening in the first minute. They're just trying to gain little pockets of space and seeing if they can get a quick kill just to open up the site. And almost seriously was able to pick off Nova, but just barely misses out. And I say that Nova's re-peaked it, though. In what universe do you re-peak it?
Rin did manage to get one along the way, make that a second coming in from Demic. 4 versus 3 now. FearX are holding the space well again. We saw this back in, I think it was round 2, when GK tried to play directly in and get that space from them. No, sorry, it was round 3. It was when they were holding onto the basement. Whenever GK play directly into the roamers, try and take that space from them, it has proven difficult for them so far.
GK, they were just trying to get picks here and there and try and give them that man advantage, but whenever it doesn't work, what is going to be your goal? And look how separated they are. You've got 2 players towards the fireplace, and then you've got your diffuser carrier by himself on Solar. He's not going to be in any position to help the team, or more or less get a plant down. So this is very scary times for GK. They're just trying to individualize their gunfights, and now almost everyone's just trying to play for the kills, but that's not going to work out against a well-structured team in FearX right now.
A big positive for FearX as well. I was just about to mention Goodboy, who's been downed in that exchange. Trix manages to finish off the kill. Goodboy's been very, very quiet so far today. Hasn't picked up a kill, and he's usually such a huge player for FearX. If he comes online on top of what they're already doing, it's going to be big for FearX.
I'll mention what just happened there in a moment, as obviously right now for Trix, this is a tricky one for him. Not a lot of HP, and he has to try and find the diffuser as well, and almost finds one, but he's going to be walking in to a rotate, being held by a player towards top Solar. But one thing I want to mention is the kill that happened just before Trix. The Habana key. So, from FearX's perspective, they know there's 2 players towards Fireplace, 1 player in the office door, 1 person coming in just from the double work piano, and the other player is Habana on Solar Window. I think it's a safe bet to say that probably the hard breach player is going to have the diffuser. That was going to be the Habana. They knew how individualized that team was, the way they were attacking that top floor. They know that their banner has to rotate to the library control. They have to rotate towards office to try and get the plant down. They just can't swing in through Solar Window. 2 of them rotated down to Trophy. Knew the player would get off the rappel and catch him as he's running outside, crossing over. Genius.
Smart play.
Genius.
Really smart play.
You know he's coming that way. It's a free hit. It's like you've ambushed him. You know exactly where he's coming from.
Great stuff from FearX as they managed to outdo, as I said, that minimum. You were looking for at least 2 rounds on the defense of Chalet. They've managed to grab themselves 3. If they could go for a 4-2 defensive half, there's a real opportunity for them to come in and take GK's map pick away from them. There's a lot of siege to play yet, but as I said, FearX just seem to be growing into this one. Like I said, Goodboy, been quiet so far. Really instrumental player for this team a lot of the time. And oh! We're just clear pigeon shooting now.
It's a great hit. Wow. I mean, GK right now, it seems very fragmented. It seems very individualized. Stop. It's been very hit or miss. You know, we've seen great executes, flawless executes where they worked so well, and in that last round it was just very one by one. They were just losing bodies. So I think they just need to try and just say, right, we're just going to try and all go in this area. You know, just try and let's just full on go for it. And it kind of leads me to believe that because they've got Grim. Utility Dump is his name.
And that's kind of what's worked for them in the rounds that they've won so far, is recognising, right, where are FearX not playing?
Yeah.
Let's get in there, get a few numbers, get established and work from there. And they just seem to have dropped off that a little bit, like you said, playing more into FearX's setups. Tricks is going to be down but not out. Will likely be safe to be collected, I would expect. FearX might not be aware of that at the minute, but it's all about time. It's all about resource. Now somebody has to go and collect him, has to pick him up. That's going to take 20, 30 seconds because he was nowhere near anybody.
And also take somebody out of position, which is another thing you now have to resist. This guy now. But right now it's looking good. No, as Demek and Good Boy have both decided to have a challenge, and they've both been sent back into the graveyard. And this is good because they've kept everyone alive for Geekay, and that's the way they want to play. They want to have that kind of final minute where everyone's alive, they all set up and go for that clean execute. And also you have the Grim alive with still 3 B canisters available as well, so there's a lot of options right now if you're Geekay, and they just have to slow it down, take their time, and more importantly, do the drill work.
Yeah, it was beautiful from x.ke there. Just find that shot around the Kiba barricade. Nova is going to retreat back to site, as is Mephi. I think FearX just thinking that they need to try and hold on to whatever they can here, and all that they've got left to them is site. 5 versus 2, and Geekay, you can see them, they're circling like sharks. They can smell the blood in the water here. They know that their round is almost done, but I like that they're not getting overly aggressive here. You can see they're taking the time. Let's find out exactly where are they. How can we get in? Where do we push? x.ke manages to find Mephi, takes it down. It's all up to Nova, picks up 1 to prevent the flawless round, but that's the best that he can do as the final kill comes in from Blaz. Geekay take the round, and that's going to be an even split on the first half of this one. It's 3-3.
Whenever Geekay went around, it looks quite easy, doesn't it? But whenever they lose it, it seems to be just everything's going wrong for them, so it's a very hot and cold side. Not the player, he comes in later.
He's somebody else.
Somewhere else.
He's not playing in this
demo. No, he's too good for that. But yeah, look, I kind of look at Geekay and the way that they want to attack. It is all about just constant pressure, constantly rotating players, again, always trying to take space that they can. And yeah, I think right now the gun skill's shining through as well. You know, Blaz is just fearless, would you not say? The way he's just moving through the middle of the site. Key has hit some cracking shots as well.
Unbelievable stuff so far. Interestingly as well, I'm just looking through the entry game that we've had so far. Every single round has gone in the direction of the team who've picked up the entry kill. So whoever's getting that opener and getting that man advantage, the other team are really struggling to be able to fight back from that point. So watching at home, keep your eye on those entry battles, see which way they're going. It's going to give us a good indicator potentially. It might switch up a little bit now that we've got FearX on the attack. We are at that halfway mark where things, the flow of the game can change a little bit, but that's going to be something for whoever's going to go on to win Chalet. It's going to be something they need to overcome.
See, little things like this is what you need to be ready for whenever you're against a team like Geekay, who will just try every trick in the book known as rat plays. They've read it all, but seriously gets punished. Maybe FearX picked up the airport. Maybe they had that read of that book, but again, it shouldn't be too much of an issue for them because get him revived up and back into his position. And considering that it is the Azami, you would like to keep that operator alive, Tim, because there's 2 Kiba barriers just chilling right now in the inventory.
That's it, so, you know, one of those utilities that we talk about, much like Legion, much like Wamai, that increase as the round goes on. So you want to be keeping hold of your Azami because that value continues to be given throughout the round if you can keep her alive. So get some serious damage done too seriously there. Maybe not the smartest operator to be taking for the spawn peaks, but also nearly took out Rin on the Dokubi, which would have been a big gain if you could get rid of those universal calls.
Oh, look at this. Bit of aggression coming in from FearX. Seeing that, yeah, there's one player who was lurking in towards dining it. Tricks who has since then fallen down the hatch, and he is now in towards Boiler. He's in a safe position all the way in towards the basement, but I think that's actually something that Geekay wanted to happen. They wanted to see FearX actually challenge below, because it's going to waste a lot of time. It's going to eat up a lot of utility. And there's one big operator that Geekay have brought in. That's going to be the Goyo. You think about time, he's great at burning down the clock. Literally.
Trix has got himself back up into main lobby here. He's going to look for that flank into dining more than likely, because with Good Boy underneath on the book, they're trying to work the verticals. It's the right thing to do potentially from FearX, but my question is, what's your setup like? How are your flank drones? Are you prepared for this man potentially moving his way back across? Blaz manages to pick up Nova. That is a big opener for Geekay. They're looking pretty comfortable on the top floor here so far. Only a minute left to go, and FearX, they haven't really got themselves established in a position to get into sight, but that could be a big kill coming in from Good Boy, just opening up that solar side push.
Oh, Blaz, he really rolled the dice on that one, but ready. Good Boy with the shotgun. Blast them in the next week, but again, this is still great from GK's perspective. You've only lost one player, 30 seconds remaining. You've got Goyos that you can pop, but Good Boy finds another one just on the double window. Catches out seriously.
I did say Good Boy coming online could be a difference maker here for FearX, and they're going to need a difference maker. x.ke's going to be flashed out. There's going to be nobody there to push, really. No, there is. Rin manages to get in and get that kill. Planty's going down for Mephi, 4 versus 2. Rin with another onto Neskin. Rin and Good Boy really coming online now. They've got themselves on the attack. Will be taken out. Trix has a 1v4 to find, cuts it down to a 1v3, but with the diffuser down, he's working against the clock. It's going to be so difficult for him to pull this back. We can see FearX, they've had all the time in the world demo. After that diffuser's gone down, they've got themselves back into really good post-plant positions. Trix finds another, but those are not the difficult kills. It's the man on the window, it's the man underneath that are going to be the tough ones to find.
Oh, is he going to jump out? Expecting someone to be in the solar window, but can't hit the shots, and Mephi is ready for him. I mean, great execute, just using the power of the Grim. You clear away Bedroom with such ease, but I also think the flashbangs worked really well, considering that Ying is banned in this matchup. You have to have some for flashes, and obviously there's plenty of operators you can bring in, but you have to look at Rin. Extra man used perfectly. Now you have that man advantage, and you just want to rotate him into an area that's going to make everyone turn their backs. Everyone's going to be focused on the Bedroom. The guys in piano, the guys in towards office, they're all going to be looking that direction. You put Rin on that window, they all have to turn their backs and ignore what's happening with the plant. And yeah, it just works so well, the synergy. I look at GK, I think they need to be more reactive, for example. Look where Blaz was. No one's helping the guy. He's just stuck in solar by himself, getting butt below, getting everything thrown at him. Why is no one moving to help him? Maybe retake below, help the guy.
I mean, it was Trix moving through main lobby on the Goyo. He just never had an impact on the round. He got himself away. He moves back up into main lobby. And again, you know, it's something probably to look back on. But I mentioned it. I said, you know, what have FearX done here to prevent this flank? Because they're playing with Good Boy underneath. They're using that book. We saw how vital that was. So what's going to happen here? If Trix walks in and kills them both, big problem for FearX. But it just makes me wonder, did they have the drone there? Did they have the call? Did they make the challenge onto the flank? If they did, then FearX have played that beautifully. They've done it really well.
We need to see what both teams are thinking.
Need to see where the drones are. You need to see what's happened. But yeah, if that's the case, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, FearX have then managed the flank really well. They've left Trix out in the cold, and they've taken the man advantage on site. Really good from them.
Here he goes again. Blaz looking for a jump out on the window. No, someone's below. Thankfully, they heard that. So Good Boy is alive. There's another operator we mentioned with the utility. Capital comes equipped with, of course, the 2 fire arrows and also the 2 smoke arrows that you can use at your leisure. And that's going to help a lot with clearing away people in towards the pillar position. But you can see Neskin in right now. You just fire in. It's going to be no issues. And also you can fire them in towards blue. Looks as though that Cade has not been successful. The wall will get opened up. And yeah, this is everything right now. If you're FearX, you've got the long angle. You've got trench open. This is looking good.
Yeah, short of having the main wall, there's not really much more that you can ask for here. If you go in for that rear-sided push, you've got that. The one thing they need to do now is they need to get down in hatch. As soon as they get down in hatch, they can then get in and plant. They can clear out pillar. They can force those players back deeper into sight, but they have to get down in hatch. If they try and go in and plant without that, they're going to have some big problems because Trix should just cut them down from above.
Here we go. Nova's straight in with the blitz, and oh, what a slaughter! Oh my goodness! Blink and you miss it. 5 kills within, what, 2 seconds of each other? Every single kill.
Beautiful stuff from FearX. What a push. As we said, once you've got the long angle, once you've got trench,
so easy. It is
if you don't even have the front, they didn't have dining hatch, but you may have missed it in the midst of all that, and I kept talking about tricks on that dining hatch. He's the one to stop this push. As soon as that push came forward, Rin killed Trix, and there was then nothing to stop it. Really well played from FearX, and it forces Geekay into the tactical timeout.
I think I remember a stat that I read, and it was like, throughout the course of EUL, I think Chalet basement was played like 9 times, and it was won by attackers every single time. Like, that basement is very attacker heavy. As long as you can just play it as simple as what they did.
Yeah.
It is so,
Just
look,
don't overcomplicate.
Exactly. On the surface, though, you think, oh, it's a big map, you have to go above, do some vertical. No, sack off the vertical, actually. You don't need it. You just go trench, you go big garage, open up long angles. It's so easy. Just look what FearX did. That's all you need to do. And like we mentioned, get that main wall open as well, Tim.
Right,
but,
then.
boy.
See how much of an impact the tactical timeout has for Geekay here as we get back into things. But FearX have really found themselves on the attack. If you remember them back, I think it was round 4, round 5, I picked up on Good Boy. There's some serious celebrations coming in from the FearX boys. They are ready for it. You know, I picked up on Good Boy. I said maybe not sin enough. Rin as well had been a little bit quiet to begin with, but get those two onto the attack, and all of a sudden they have come to life. And along with them, so have FearX, and they are really dominating Chalet at the minute, and they're looking pretty impressive.
Don't forget, this is GK's map pick. I said that this has been the map that GK has dominated in their own region. But then I suppose then you have to have that conversation, Tim, about the MENA region. You know, is it going to be as strong as Korea? Is it going to be as strong as the other regions? Well, yeah, say not really, because it's still a developing region. You know, you look at Korea and Japan, they've had years to develop their scene. MENA is still fairly new.
You've got to look at the performances that we've had at previous events from the MENA teams, though, as well. You know, we've had... I'm not saying that they're ready to come in and win one.
It's a very different team.
There are different, but the point is that, you know, they are still coming and performing when they get on the main stage at times. But we'll see whether they can put the performances in here. Just looking ahead in this one. Looking towards that second map choice, which is Bank, obviously. FearX picking that one. It is their second preference map demo. Banned against them consistently. 12 times in recent history it has been banned against FearX. Teams not wanting to play them there. And it was kind of the choice that GK had. Do we take away Oregon? Do we take away Bank? They obviously took away Oregon. They find themselves coming potentially into Bank. They managed to open up their account here. After that tactical timeout, Neskin manages to find a double to kick things off. And this is what GK needed.
Almost loses another one to say that. Yes, they do, as Key eliminates Rin. That was just from playing underneath the hatch, I believe. And it's a 2v5, the Deimos and the Blitz. See if they can get anything from this round, but it's going to be very unlikely. Plenty of utility still on the board for GK. You have Miro Windows, you have the Izami you have to go up against. Don't forget about the Fenrir's also scattered around the map. What's Nova thinking of? Maybe just to jump in through the window in towards lobby and just maybe try and blitz your way in towards the site. And we'll double up now as well with Mephi, who could also just play in the window and stop anyone else rotating in towards lobby. And it looks like Nova's going to do that, just jumps in straight, but he's lost his player behind him. And now 1v5 for the Blitz, a flawless for GK. Another flawless for GK. That's the second one they've had this game, Tim, I believe.
It just seems to be getting to that point. It's one of those games where it's all or nothing for both of these teams. You know, in round 8, we saw a fantastic attack from FearX where they completely ran over site on basement and just, you know, decimated GK. And then GK come with a tactical timeout and a huge response with a flawless round there. Neskin kicking things off with a double, really put him on a great front foot. Look at that beautiful, beautiful wall bang there. Obviously just acting on a little bit of intel. Absolutely great stuff. So, yeah, GK fighting their way back into this one, back in touch, only one round in it. This game demo, what a way to start the Manchester Major. It's anybody's, it's fun, it's exciting, it's explosive. I'm really enjoying this one.
I mean, knowing you, this'll be overtime, because it's you.
How could it not be?
Because it's you. Me and Ollie never get the overtimes. We're just in, quick, job done. Not with you. Something about you. But as we move in again to another top floor defense, believe it or not, a lot of people kind of think that this is actually the worst, but statistically it's actually the best. I think it's actually joint with Bar as well, so this is still a very good site for the defense. And I think just the way the defenders play it now is they've really elevated how well you can do with your kind of setups in towards Library, where you can bring in, you know, shields, have those long angles looking in towards Library. Obviously, I think as well, you see some very aggressive positions in towards the kind of office bounce where you can set up shields. Then you have that big double window you can play off that. There's a lot of success as well in this stage with that kind of setup. So there's a lot of options, of course, for the defense.
Seriously, it's going to be... We've got some serious noise coming out of the teams, I think, on the B stream. It's not ours, because we're at the beginning of a round of applause! Absolutely beautiful! Through the cabinet, puts Mephi on display as he absolutely rips head from shoulders to kick things off. And Geekay have woken up after the tactical timeout demo. Seriously, picking up Demic as well, but Rin is there to fight back. Manages to pick one up, 3 versus 4.
Well, a good start. You've lost your Thermite, which is the thing we have to mention. You've lost the hard breach, so that main wall will be closed. That is going to be shut up shop. This is going to be a really big engagement for Good Boy if he gets this kill, and he will pull it back into an even man count, but it just makes it worse now. A 2v4, and seriously, hungry for more, are we? Yes, you are! A triple kill in the round, and Blaz got the first kill and gets the last in the round. A very swift and decisive defense for Geekay.
Oh, they've just come back online in a big way there. What better way to come out of a tactical timeout than 2 back-to-back rounds, getting yourself back level, guaranteeing 12 rounds as a minimum here on map 1, and just really fighting back on your own map choice. But it's also the manner in which they've won those rounds. All of a sudden, FearX in round 8, great attack, absolutely ran over Geekay. They look like the tide washing over rocks. It was just as easy as that for them. But then, they've done nothing in round 9 and 10. Geekay have kept them completely quiet, and it's been a brilliant, brilliant turnaround from them.
5-5. Don't know who's going to get the 6th round, and that is such a round 11. Such a huge round in the grand scale of things, because it's either you set yourself up at match point, or you're going to have to try and fight back to get to that overtime. So it's a huge round, and FearX, one thing I will mention is that they've had the blitz from Nova a lot of the rounds. I've seen very little impact both times.
If I didn't know that blitz had been being played, and you said to me, oh, he's been playing blitz, I'd be like, really? Right. Has he?
You have 2 ways that you want to play the blitz. You either play the blitz for your quick pushes where he can take ground immediately fast, or you're going to pick him because you want a shield to help with a plant. Right, that's 2 things. Because remember, with shield operators, you can plant in areas that other people can't, because you can put the shield in your back, you can plant in the open, and you'll still possibly survive. That's the thing you have going for you with the shields. I just haven't seen him do either of that. Nova seems to be a very passive blitz player, which I don't really think you can afford to have in the current meta, is to have a passive shield. Because as soon as a team knows that you have the shield, they will play every operator in the world to counter that, and they'll just double up on you and just play together to eliminate it. And already Nova just immediately tanks a C4 to the face.
Took a lot of damage there, trying to get in aggressively, as you said, go in, take that space. Can he find his man? Seriously cuts down Mephi. Neskin with a double, and once again, Geekay standing tall to whatever FearX throw their way. Rin is going to down Neskin, who now finds ourselves in a 2 versus 3. They've gone 6, just going in there and getting the job done.
They've gone 6. Oh my. Oh, Rin.
Rin just needs to get aggressive here. The opportunity was there to find a double on the pickup. Smart use of the canister, the Zoto canister coming out from Tuberau there, just to prevent that push around the corner coming in from Rin. Demic, he's trying to find the alternative angle. They don't have enough intel here, Demo. They don't know where anybody is.
No, they dumped out both the
They've got 5 drones left and no knowledge.
They just want to try and get the kills. They know that they're in that room, but they don't know exactly where in that room that they are, and the time is just ticking away. And where have you came from, Key? He's been eliminated by Rin, but Demic lost his life because of that, and it's an easy crossfire established for Geekay. What a strange, strange round that was.
Well, I don't know what got said in that tactical timeout, but it's woken GK up one way or another because they've come out with 3 consecutive rounds, and out of nowhere, they find themselves, they were 5-3 down, and they find themselves on match point now. And that situation, all 3 of them were in office. They were picking each other up. They were surrounded, but they've still just, they were backs to the wall, and they've put their foot against the wall, and they've pushed back big time.
I think the timeout was just play more aggressive. That's what they've done. They have
Take the gun back.
Gone ho against them. You show no fear. I know it's a little bit weird against FearX. Do you fear them? No, just go for it because it's working right now. Using the devour against the Blitz. Again, Blitz, just no impact. Like really, really minuscule impact that the Blitz is having in these rounds. I just think you need to sack it off at this stage. But yeah, Rin just had an absolute mare. You know, he gets the down onto the player behind the mirror window. He knows he's downed him. But then he forgets you have a Gon 6, you don't have a pistol, and he just fires the Gon 6, he misses his chance, the revive comes in, and it's just one of those rounds that Rin's going to be kicking himself thinking, I should have had 2 there.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to question the Nova play as well. Comes in on the blitz, pushes him on half wall, but just doesn't really commit to the fight. Like that's the one person you can fight. You turns towards Master and Piano. You can't fight anybody there because they're too long range. You know, the one impact that he could have, he just didn't really commit to it. And FearX certainly looking on the back. Yeah, I think definitely. There's been no value from it. Again, just little things. That's another 20 seconds that's just been wasted with a drone that's bounced off. It happens, but it's going to cost you.
Just confidence is seeping through for GK. You know, look at the kill department. Everyone in their team is positive, which that doesn't happen a lot. Well, to be fair, we kind of missed 2 rounds because of a bit of a rehost, but at the moment, just as it stands on the scoreboard that we can see on our screen, everyone is positive for GK. The kill department is working so well for them right now. And it's up to FearX. They're now on the back foot. They're the ones under the pressure. They were leading with 2 rounds. And now they've lost, what, 3 in a row? Could be 4, I don't know.
It looks like it's only going one way. I mean, would it be the start of a major demo that I'm casting map 1 if it doesn't get a couple of extra rounds thrown in for some spice? I don't think that would. I mean, of all the majors as well, if I can't deliver overtime in Manchester, I'm doing something wrong, demo.
What's the point? What's the point of having this?
What's the point? What's the point?
Done it elsewhere.
Well, 5 versus 3 as FearX managed to pick themselves up a big double, but we've seen GK be able to fight back from these situations so far. They know what's on the line here. They could get Chalet locked out here, and now the mirror is going to continue fighting on library for the time being. But I think, as I said that, they just dropped back into sight, which could be a smart play. They don't want to lose lives up there. And Blaz manages to pick up Rim for free, but then cut down on Mezzanine. Great trade from Mephi.
Yeah, I think Blaz done really well to get that kill, but maybe he should just fell back. You know, does he have to risk going above? And we see a very late mirror window being placed by Key, and that's just going to try and lock down the stock area. As we know, that's the crucial position that the defenders need to play in. Trix was thinking of maybe getting a little bit aggro and pushing up the stairs, but we know that FearX are ready for that. And 45 seconds, this is going to be so difficult for the defense to really come back and win this one out, but could be doable. I don't know. They have the Fenrir traps that could maybe help them out.
The best thing it feels like they can do at the minute is try to burn as much time as possible. They don't know where x.ke is. He manages to find Demic. No, sorry, Demic finds Key. It's going to be down. It's 1 versus 1. Trix with the drop over the balcony. Really did a job there. A smart move, I think, to go in and start collecting people. Trix manages to get 1. Demic is going to go for the plant. The time is running down. Good boy is on some essential cover here. Has to hold it. Demic manages to find the final kill. And we're going to overtime, Demo.
Doesn't it the same, does it? They're not saying Des. Doesn't it the same, Tim? But yeah, here we are. But
that was a crazy finish to that round.
3 people down.
I thought it was Key that had come over the top, but it wasn't. It was Trix, but then the triple down. It was a smart move to just get in there. 20 seconds, that's brave to think. 20 seconds, I'm going to pick somebody up. Get Good Boy back on his feet for the cover.
You needed to... I think right there for FearX, all they needed to do was just say, right, 2 people are going to drop the hatch, 1 person's going to push blue, other person's going to go lobby. Then you just trade. But they didn't. They were just very individualized the way they pushed it, and it allowed GK to get themselves back into the game and take the gunfights. where it should just be you just trade off the 2 kills and you still end up in a 2 versus 0 essentially. So that's really all FearX are missing. Look, they still win the round, but my God, you could not get any closer than that. And yeah, overtime, here we are. We wipe the slate. This has been an even Chalet. 3 rounds on the attack and 3 rounds on the defense for both sides. Again, 6 in total, 6-6.
5 seconds remaining.
And yeah, here we go. GK on the defense. Does that favor them? I would say probably yes.
I mean, the way that it's just, the fact they've had 3 rounds back-to-back, you know, around 9, 10, 11, they really got themselves going on the... I think you're right, and that round was very winnable for them. It shouldn't have been, but it still was in round 12. They just didn't quite manage to close it out at the end. So yeah, I think it probably does favour GK a little bit. If we look towards that top floor, it was round 10 that we saw them win it last time. Blaz picked things up with a big entry, seriously got a triple in the round. They were really dominant in the round. So yeah, I think they're going to be bringing a lot of confidence into this.
Okay, he was thinking about the classic, I call that the noodle, because he always did. That's probably where he got it from, where he just tosses a C4 out through the solar window and you just catch somebody on the rappel. It's very easy with the lineups now. But all quiet as it stands. I say that though, somebody just jumps straight in through the window and Demic gets eliminated. A massive kill. You've lost the Grim. Oh, fancy footwork there from Good Boy downstairs. Uses the buck well, but they have no idea that there's a second one. Good Boy has to try and make this happen. Oh, Netskin gives himself up, but another trade comes in. Key. Great situal awareness, knows there's another player below, and just goes and helps his team.
GK, earlier in the game, you picked up on it, Demo. You said they were a little bit fractured, a little bit separated sometimes, whereas now, look at the difference. Always there for the trade, keeping themselves with a man advantage. They can play the rest of the round like that because they 3v2. So long as every time FearX get a kill, they find one in return, they win. It's as simple as that, and really nicely done from GK. Just pressure constantly. Good Boy gets one, but he's then being pressured from somewhere else. Then he's being pressured from the hatch. It was just non-stop for him, and FearX didn't really have the answer. Blaz, he knows he doesn't need to aggress here, but he will anyway! And he's going to find a beautiful headshot onto Rin.
So, first time casting Blaz then, you know, expecting him just to swing every window. He's like a dog in a car. His head has to go out the window. Oh my goodness. But Nova, all by himself. An attempt of opening up the mirror window will be stopped. And yeah, just not looking too good here for Nova and Blaz. Yeah, waits for him, gets his kill. Oh, the Frenchman. He's on form today. I mean, that's what I said. I think you needed Blaz to show up today, because he is one of those impact players who he can just take control so quickly of the game, and he's just such a nightmare to deal with, because he is one of those kind of Jumes characters where he's so annoying. He is so annoying to play against, because he knows every little rank strat in the book, and he will just abuse that. And he's thinking, oh, how are rank strats working in professional play? Trust me, they do. Sometimes they do.
Yeah, it's been great from Blaz so far. The impact that he's had has been tangible in almost every round. He's sitting at about a 70% cost at the minute. For anybody that's newer into Siege, maybe cost, when we talk about that as a statistic, as a percentage, what we're talking about there is KOST, so kills, objectives, survive, trade. So how often do you do one of those things? Big team mechanics. How often do you do one of those things in a round? Well, 70% of the rounds we've had Blaz getting at least a kill, playing the objective, surviving the round, or his death being traded. And it just shows the contribution that he's making in so many of these rounds. And seriously, alongside him as well, is doing, his cost is actually better. He's higher at the minute. And those two are really, really guiding GK through this one. It's been great stuff from them.
Need a big step up from FearX. They've chosen the basement. Again, we mentioned, we think it's a very easy site to attack. The last time they played here, I think we both said that GK, they chose the wrong approach. They tried to fight the roamers and didn't work. If they go direct, if they get the walls open, wait till you see the difference.
we've already got an immediate difference. Last time GK failed to open that main wall. This time it's the first thing that they've done. So that's now going to create that phantom pressure. As you can see, FearX, they're using utility on it. So that's utility that now can't be used elsewhere. They've got guns pointed at it. They know that the pressure now is going to start moving in towards Trench as well. They are playing the shield on there. They are playing the little extension. GK need to deal with that. But when they do, FearX are going to be in big trouble.
Look at the lineup from the defense. They have nothing to stop walls. That's an issue. As soon as one of those walls gets opened up and those Kiba barriers and the shields go, you cannot sit safe in that bomb site whatsoever. So, FearX is either they try and retake and they try and go for the retake in towards dining play of the hatch, for example. Or else do they try and play, I don't know, for the smoke? They don't really have any C4s they can rely on. It's going to be difficult. I think GK, as long as they can just play it well and play it right, they should have no issues. But one thing I'm curious about as well is maybe they're just going to try and go snowmobile because the single wall for snowmobile is reinforced. If that was opened up, you couldn't really do that. But because it's reinforced, it does put the defenders in a position where they don't have the long angles to challenge onto the main breach.
Nova knows that Blaz is working forward here. He hears the sound come from the barbed wire, but it's not going to be enough for him to be able to get that peek around the corner. I think he could see the laser sight on Blaz's rifle as well that just gave away that position, but ultimately it's actually Nova that comes away with a ton of damage there. And GK, they get away scot-free realistically. Blaz continues opening up those verticals, and as you say, Demo, this is all shaping up towards that front-sided push.
Well, Blaz is in. He's been flashed by his teammate, but he's still okay. I don't even know if they know that he's actually in here. Now they will. As Blaz is trying to storm through, he finds another one, but Nova is still safe. He is still on this staircase. He's been here for ages. Good Boy's retaking in towards Bins. They have no idea he's there. He is going to be in for one hell of a surprise. Finally, the man in the stairs falls, but Good Boy's still alive, and there he goes. He appears, and he finds another one. 3 kills for Good Boy. What a rotation, what a movement from him. And he's basically just kept his team alive in the map.
Absolutely fantastic play from Good Boy, just sneaking himself into a little position and doing some serious damage. Neskin goes in though. 1v2 becomes a 1v1. He knows where the last man is, but he can't find him. Mephi on the shotgun moves around the corner, and with a single pump, he takes the round. And we are going all the way to 15. Map 1 Chalet between FearX and GK. And what a game this is turning out to be. Blaz with the drop into sight. Demo, he just couldn't have the impact that he needed. That kill from Nova onto Blaz was huge.
Oh, it was Good Boy for me. Great Boy.
Yeah.
Can we call him Great Boy?
Go for
What
it.
a rotation. Just... That's one of those things where if you're gonna VOD review that as GK, you will see that is just timing. As you have started to rotate off the vertical angles and get in position for the plant, he has then just slipped in. If someone's on those vertical angles, he dies. All day of the week, he is gone. But just because he has caught them in transition, he gets away with that. So it is down to timing. But even for Good Boy to realize that I need to make a play. See, if you make the play makes you. He made the play.
Certainly did, and it made the round for FearX. I think coming into this one, with it being Chalet, we kind of half expected that GK might well have themselves the first map on the board, but it certainly hasn't played out like that, and FearX have come in looking impressive. At times, they struggled a little bit, I think it's fair to say, in stage 1 of the Korea League. They got themselves into the playoffs, ultimately losing out on the auto spot to PSG Talon. They had to go through the last chance qualifiers to get themselves here to Manchester, and we've had big plays from a number of players to get them to this position, but they've certainly turned up looking a lot more cohesive and a lot more effective than maybe they have through the regular stage, and GK, they're feeling the force of that at the minute.
Drone up. Here we go. One last round of Chalet will be decided on our kitchen and our dining. Straight away from GK, they're bringing in plenty of denial for the walls. You have your Cade and you have your Tabaro. So walls should be very difficult for FearX to deal with. They do have the double hard breach, they have the EMP, so they do have options to try and get through that, but it's just going to come down to time. That's what you're essentially trying to burn through with that combination of defenders. Rin has got the sense, so a little bit of a change did happen with the sense. where, as we know, we've got 4 of the charges now, so you can really start clogging up the bomb sites.
Good Boy's done some great work on the Twitch there, managing to clear off that electrical. Yes, they've still got the Tubarão on the top floor to deal with. They need to move him out of this position. We saw the damage that can be done previously if you're not going to manage this breach on the top floor. But Tubarão, for the time being, Neskin just looking to hold on to that position, because until he's clear, they can't really look to get in and open the wall onto site. Nova, he's just going to keep clicking away at that exothermic charge, but he's just waiting for that Zorto canister to clear off. Are they going to get both of these open? That's the question. The wall's been re-electrified, so that means the exothermic has been tricked off. They're not going to be breaching into office. They've got to find a way. And FearX, while stalling out, Geekay have taken advantage.
Oh, big down. Would have been better if it was a kill. Seconds and he won. Oh, Demic just barely gets out of that one. But again, they're just struggling. They can't get the wall open. Nova, where are you going with the case? He falls, he had no more thermite charges left, and it's just a head loss from FearX, a complete lash out. It gives Geekay all the time in the world to close out 1v4. Good Boy, not going to be good enough to save his team this round. And Geekay, it was hard fought, but my God. Oh, they take the first map. They take their map in Chalet.
What a map we have just had to open things up at the Manchester Major. Geekay getting it done at the end. It was really nice play from them. The Tubarão up on the top floor, they really understood what they needed to do there in order to win that side. And as soon as FearX couldn't get that office wall open, it was panic stations. They didn't know what to do, Demo. They start getting hit with nitros thrown into lobby. They know they can't breach the wall into sight. They wander in towards dining corridor with the case. It all falls apart. But let's not take too much away from FearX. It was a great performance on a map that they're not really known for. They've put a marker down.
Yeah, they have. And don't forget, it's a best of 3. It's not best of 1. So there is still hope for FearX in this series, considering they go to their map of Bank, which has been a permaban for
against
Geekay.
them, yeah.
It's, you know, this is
permaban for Geekay, permaban against
exactly.
FearX.
It's a map that Geekay, we haven't seen them play, and it doesn't look as though they want to play it because they've just been banning it most games that they go into in their MENA league. So I think it'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a tough one for Geekay to come out and get a win. I think we could well be looking at 3 maps here. We've got some of our highlights coming through, and honestly, there was so many in that matchup for both of these sides. They both had huge moments. You know, in the back end of the game, particularly, we've got to give a shout out to Good Boy and a couple of big plays that he made along the way. This one in particular, just absolutely brilliant movement to get himself into a tricky position and really did some damage to that Geekay attack.
Yeah, I mean, Geekay started off a little bit rocky, especially if you look at their kind of first 2 rounds of their defense. They were very alone. They weren't really helping each other out. And then that timeout came in, and just everything changed. You know, the power of a timeout, I think, has been proven a very powerful tool for Geekay.
Yeah, it was, the TAC timeout was massive, like you say, 3 rounds on the back of it. I think we can have a look at our stats across the map as well and just see exactly, because we did have a little rehost in the middle there. So
yeah,
we didn't quite get those final figures, but we can have a look at them now and see how everybody did. Blaz, and seriously, I was shouting them out along the way. 29 kills between the 2 of them. It was really, really big.
Yeah, I mean, Blaz, look, I said before, he's going to be the guy for them. He really is. You know, we've seen what he can do to different regions. Seen what he's done to NA, look what he's done to Europe, and now look what he's doing. Well, this is more of an international stage for him, isn't he? He's doing it now on an international stage, which we didn't get a chance to see him on before. Yeah,
it was great stuff. So that is the end of map 1, but we've got so much more Siege to come for you. We're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to be getting into map 2, FearX versus Geekay. It's going to be Bank. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Manchester Major. We are in map, well, it's going to be map 2 demo of best of 3 here. Geekay taking the first map against FearX. We're 1-0 up on Chalet, and what a start we had.
Yeah, for a minute there I heard you say, we're at the Manchester Major in Manchester. It's like, well, yes, Tim, of course, where else would we be? We're map 2 of our first game, but look, already it's fireworks, stream B, another 8-7.
Exactly the same.
I blame you. And Dez isn't here, so it is him. It's your fault.
That's it, it's fact. No,
That's
it's
it.
fact.
So, Dez, you're off the hook. Congratulations.
We're going to be getting into this in just a couple of minutes. The players, as you can see, getting themselves ready after what has been a bit of an epic battle between these two so far. Both teams had their opportunities, Demo. Both teams had advantages at stages. It was 5-3 to FearX at one point, and then Geekay take attack timeout, battle it all the way back to 6-5, and then we go to overtime. It was just a wild, wild finish.
Both teams have had rounds where they've looked flawless, quite literally, because they win flawless rounds. And we're sitting there thinking, wow, amazing. And then there's some rounds where both of them are just so scrappy and it comes down right to the wire. So, I mean, you look at the spread of things, one diffuser planted, that's it. Everything else is killed. I kind of expected that that's the way things were going to go. Geekay aren't really a side that you would expect. They're going to be orientated around the kills, or around the punch, should I say, sorry, more towards the kills because of who they have and the players that they have.
Yeah, absolutely, and we saw that a couple of times from them. You know, a few times on the attack, Blaz is kind of just stood inside a site, getting kills.
He's just looking for an opening, isn't he? And
that's something that FearX can take away from that as well. You know, FearX can learn from that and look and think, we just need to tighten up on what's going on inside of our own house here. So long as we stop Blaz walking in, so long as we stop doing that, they're not really playing the objective very well. And on something like Bank, there's an opportunity here to burn a little bit of time at the beginning of the round and then force Geekay to play that objective.
See a social prediction, 45% to FearX, 55 to Geekay, which is always strange considering that Geekay's already won the first map, and a lot of people then will just straight away say, oh, let's go for the team that just won. But I think everyone understands now what the map is that we're going into. We're going into Bank. It's been a permaban for Geekay.
It has. It's been a permaban for Geekay, and it's been almost permanently banned against FearX. This is one of their better maps. It's a second preference map. We're going to see the Monty taken away immediately by Geekay Demo. We saw it in the previous map as well. They do not want to be playing against that shield.
No, and I think whenever you look at Monty on Bank,
especially on Bank,
it is his best map by far.
Yeah.
The pushes that you can do, the early control of server, up the spiral stairs with your top 4 attacks, you can walk into open area or walk into kitchen in the open area, defense and just plant with ease. So many ways you can abuse the Monty, and yeah, no surprise to see it being banned away. Ying also goes, and look, this seems to be very familiar with Chalet, but that's a new one. It was Valkyrie last time. Now we have the Fenrir, which I keep mentioning. I think he is the best.
Very, very good. We may well see some Valkyrie play here on Bank, given the fact that she's been left on the board. We'll see as we go. It'll depend on the sites, particularly. Not too useful for...
You'll see it probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, not too useful on a basement defense, but certainly on a CEO defense, because of that big main lobby. You get some Valk cams in there, there's a lot of places to check. Even if you bring the IQ, there's still a lot of scanning to be done to try and track them down and find them. There's a lot of places that you can hide them, so we may well see a little bit of Valk being brought in. As we say, and I've said it since I started casting 5-6 years ago, consistently throughout, many things change inside a Siege, but one thing that does and always will remain the same, Demo, is how important intel and information is in this game.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the approach from Geekay is going to be. Chalet is a map where they can go for those lurk plays. We've seen Blaz do that a lot. Neskin was also part of the equation into some of those attacks. I don't really think you can do it to the same level on Bank just because of the layout. Chalet has a lot of, staircases that kind of connect most of the bomb sites together, whereas you look at top floor, you're not really going to get any flanks up square. You're not really going to be able to push up through main stairs. You're not going to push up through spiral. You can't really play those lurk walls. You have to go windows, for example. You don't really get that. Basement, again, it's like Fort Knox. There ain't no way you're going to be able to crouch walk into site without somebody knowing.
No.
Maybe the mid floor. You might get a bit of luck in towards tellers and archives. But again, it's just very difficult to kind of play that same play style. So I think you have to go by the books. You have to go strategic. But if there is an option, which there can be, there always will be options for just those quick little push-ins where you can find space, it will happen. That's why I think GK need to try and play around, but it can't be their only reliant on how to win this map.
No, I'd agree with you, and I think this is going to be a test for GK in terms of depth. In terms of, you know, can you win the rounds?
Can you play normal Siege, guys?
Can you play the tactical game? You know, can you win the rounds where you can't just go in and take a bunch of gunfights? That's going to be the big question for everybody at home to keep their eye on throughout this game. You know, how do GK do when they can't just grab some space, when they can't just, you know, go in and get 2 or 3 kills inside a site? Are they able to set up for an execute, for example? Are they able to set themselves up efficiently, effectively, in time to get that diffuser down? They may well need to do that on bank on the attack.
Against a strong side who we know can play that strategic siege. Look at what they did on the basement attack for Chalet, how clean that was. It was a just 3-2-1, everyone's dead. We didn't really get a chance to plan because everyone was dead.
Not at all.
It's, yeah, I think obviously FearX have to win as the favourites going into bank just because they're the more, I think, team of the experience. They know what you need to do to win a bank, whereas GK we just don't know because they are still a very young side together.
I think we're going to be getting on into this one any moment now. We just had a little bit of a tech issue there. We've got GK back in the lobby, I believe, and we'll just make sure everything is right and in order before we send you over, but we won't be too far away whatsoever from getting on into this one. It's going to be a telling start. GK do start on the defense. We've obviously spoken about the difficulties they might find on the attack, you know, given the play style that we've seen on Chalet and the way they want to aggressively take space, specifically inside of sight, which is going to be more difficult for them here on bank. Are they going to be able to do well on the defense? I feel like, given the fact that attack might be slightly more difficult for them here, I'm thinking GK need a 4-2 half here on the defense. They need to find at least 2 sites that they can lock down. You know, by contrast, I want to see FearX come in and start putting that diffuser down. Let's have a little bit more objective play. Let's have some more strategic siege being played now.
We go for basement, right off the rip. This is seen as the defender-sided bomb site off the map. Very easy to defend, where you just stack up a lot of the utility operators. You bring in your smokes, your Goyos, C4s as well. You can bring them in, and it's just very, very difficult to try and plant. I think time's going to be a big thing for FearX. I want to see them set up and get in positions quickly so you can win the round by burning down all the utility, use the clock to your advantage. But GK not going to make it easy, as they will be opting for their hold, for their smoke in towards blue. Again, a classic position that we see all the time. Let's just see how good Key is in that position, because I always think blue players are hit or miss. It's either you're going to see them kill everyone or just die straight away.
Yeah, it's a tough position to play. It's sort of a thankless task, really. You try to hold on for as long as you can. You're basically giving your life from the very beginning of the round. You know that's where you're going to die.
Games,
if you're committing to it, it's just how many can I take with me. So we'll see how Key does. I like this from FearX so far, Demo. They're moving confidently. They've had the drones in. They're starting to open up hatches already. We're inside the first minute. They've taken a lot of ground here, and this is something GK are going to need to learn to deal with, because I expect FearX to be good at potentially getting that diffuser down and creating that space. And so far, they're showing me why. We're going to have a little bit of a trickery attempt here from Blaz onto the hatch. It's not going to do the job. That's opened up. Nitro comes out. That's going to be missed as well. Good stuff from FearX up to now.
I'm a little bit surprised they didn't bring in the Tabaro. You know, whenever you're dealing with little hatches, that's where Tub can be great at just delaying the time and seeing if you can help that Cade get the tricks off. It is difficult, of course, and Blaz! I mean, it's what he does. He'll try and take those risks, and if it works, he comes out the hero, but if it doesn't, he's a villain.
Yeah, you're potentially going to be getting punished, and that's exactly what happens. And the difficulty is now that you've got Key on blue stairs. He's going to be stuck as this hatch gets opened up. So if we're not quite there yet, but there's a real possibility here that GK find themselves in a 5 versus 3, depending what happens on those blue stairs. If FearX are able to deal with that well, but they might not need to, Demo. It looks like they could go for a little backstab here, but it could be a mistake. Trix manages to find one. Neskin, he gets one, but the immediate trade comes in as Method. He goes right in behind his man. He's backing him up. He's there for the trade.
Oh, get the trade. That's just it. That stopped them, and the diffuser is now cold on the ground. Demic caught in the mixer as somebody just walked up right beside him. Rin in the 1v2, and another swing comes in from Seriously, and it worked. Uses the cash as a bit of cover in that instance. Oh, I'm scratching my head a little bit. I know exactly what the issue was with the attack. I can tell you straight away what they missed out on. They didn't have the flashes. If you want to drop into that hatch, you know there's going to be a guy in Vault. You need to flash him out. You didn't even use a smoke. You've just dropped into a sightline being held by the guy.
Well, that's not the only problem that no flashes create. Why didn't they go into server? Because they had a smoke on blue stairs that they couldn't deal with. Get the flashes, and you can deal with the smoke on blue stairs. There was nothing that they could do to push key back. For me, I feel like FearX did a lot of work towards the server plant, and then kind of went, oh no, we're going to go down in Vault. And they had time. I'd have liked them to continue what they were doing with server. They had an opportunity to potentially actually just drop server hatch and push key from both sides, pushing from bottom stairs, top stairs.
The only issue is
I'd like to have seen them follow through what they were doing.
But even if they did that, I'm pretty sure Geekay prepared for that because they had the garage wall open, and then they had the long angle even onto the server breach as well. So if you try and push bottom stairs to clear out the smoke, someone from garage will usually try and do that. So they actually did have a lot of things covered just with their setup initially, but yeah, I mean, just missed a bit of utility, and they just said, okay, let's go for it. But I mean, even Cabotage just smoked that as well. Like, he's dropping dry, essentially. So just little things like that, just little bits of not putting utility in. It gives easy kills out to the defenders. You lose that initial surprise factor of the push. You're just going to lose from there. You can't do much about that. So, look, we'll move on to round number 2. And GK have to go to the top floor, which I'm always scared of playing the top floor just because I think there's so many different window angles that you can just die to. It is very tricky as a defender to kind of sit and hold it whenever you know you're kind of locked off by about 20 million angles. But that's probably why they're bringing the castle, I guess.
Let's get into round 2 then. GK managing to take their first defense. This time it's going to be top floor. They are going to have the blitz coming in. We said this previously. We haven't enjoyed Nova's blitz play so far. It hasn't been overly effective. Demic is going to be the first one to get on in there. Puts down that Talon shield. He's going to be trying to play from behind it to push that janitor position. Tricks manages to find Good Boy though. What can Nova do here? He knows there's one off towards Marble, but he's now concerned about that janitor swing coming around onto his flank as well. It's difficult for him to get anything done here. The smoke comes out though. It's going to allow him to push. He goes into janitor. He finds the warden. What a direct kill that is. The one counter to him is now taken off the board.
Oh, Nova, he is stuck inside of janitors, but the smoke is missed. Pretty much all the smoke's onto him. He has none left. And Key, what are you going to do up against Nova on the blitz? He will try and pull back, use the support. Oh, seriously, on the bandit, but there goes Nova on the blitz. We're finally seeing a bit of value. He done great work using the smoke, using the cross, using the cover. And now GK have to try and battle back for a 2v4. Diffuser goes down. A good kill comes in from Seriously, but at what cost? He's lost all his HP. Diffuser goes down, and you still have the blooming blitz to deal with.
Plant secured by Nova. We said coming in, he's not had the most value out of that operator on Chalet. Brings it along to Bank and basically wins the round with it. Really well played. I love the little smoke canister off to the left to stop any push coming from top Marble so he can get himself round into janitor and then takes out the warden. You just know they heard that blitz coming, and even with the glasses they thought, I don't want any part of that. They turned to move out through the rotation. Shot in the back. Well played from Nova.
I would say that Seriously probably called in. They've smoked my Marble, rotate the warden, and as warden rotates, he turns his back to the blitz.
Great.
That's what it was. Again, it was just you've baited the warden to try and come to the aid, and then yeah, that's what happened. And this is where blitz can just be so dangerous in those tight areas where you can make that quick push. And like I said, blitz is great for taking those small pocket areas. He's not going to be good at running into an open room because you will just die. But in close quarters like janitor, where else he's not going to die to his right because the windows are covering it. As long as blitz in the position where he's always facing front, he's always got that 180-degree cone, he is going to get you kills. He's going to be such a nightmare for the defenders.
Another good start to the map here then, 1-1, and it looks like it's going to continue exactly as we left off. Chalet, of course, was back and forth throughout, nobody able to take any real advantage. But if you remember what I said at the beginning of the game, that was GK need to come out here strong on the defense. We've got a feeling that it could be tough for them on the attack. If they're trying to just go direct to site, for example, it's going to need a lot of work from them. So they're wanting to secure as many defensive rounds as they can get. They need to find that second site. They've been able to lock down the basement, but that's the one they should be winning. Can they find a second site that they can close it out on? That's going to be the big question. Rin goes in, gets a big opener onto Key, takes him down. That's the mute gone, and part of the roam cut down, and that's the rest of the roam gone. Rin manages to find a second, seriously is out of it, and it's 5 versus 3, FearX.
Yeah, that R4C can rip people to shreds, and with the ACOG, look, I think everyone knows how strong that weapon is, just with that little bit of a advanced visual effect that you get with the zoom in, of course. So yeah, such a strong weapon to have. You have it on Ash and also on the Ram. And honestly, this is where you just look at it and think, this has killed the round. You know, right from the get-go, you've lost 2 players immediately. You've lost, I would say, 2 operators who should be in the site being the support players. This is going to be difficult.
And this is where Deimos becomes really, really strong. You've got that man advantage. You can just keep on using those pings, just really making it difficult for anybody who's trying to get out on the flank, anybody who's trying to play away from sight, anybody that you've got an idea is in an unusual position. Just keep those pings coming in. Information, intel being fed back makes it very, very difficult for them.
Look at the position Blaz is in. He's right beside the electrical door, and he gets picked off from it. I was thinking maybe he could have got taken out, but
and that's the strength of the Deimos.
The information, you know, he's in a bit of a position you don't expect somebody to be standing in, but yeah, they've got the man, they've got him killed, and Trix is just jiggle peeking for all these words. That was what, the 6th time he done that, and he finally gets the kill from it. A 2v4, but oh, hang on a minute, now a 2v3. I was going to say it's still not looking good. You still have a 2-man advantage for FearX, but now you only just have the 1, and Neskin is in a fairly safe position on that triple wall. It still has not been fully opened up. Oh, Trix misses out on that kill on the good boy, and now Neskin has to clutch up. 1v3, and no, just a wall buying will seal the deal. Good boy is there. My word. I mean, look, you just have to put it down to the opening. Rin fires a ram in, jumps through the window, gets a freebie. And then another guy tries to get a kill back, and he does as well.
I was going to say, the start of the round for FearX was much better than the end of the round. I was a little bit concerned for them there. When they went to 2v3, they start pushing into archives on their own. I'm thinking, FearX, you've got 50 seconds here. Like, don't get dragged into this.
Trix wins that engagement.
Yeah, exactly.
No
2v2, and you think they were going in very solo, and I'm thinking, you've got 50 seconds. Don't get dragged into these like almost panic fights. It's like, yeah, we're pushing now. We've just got to push. No, you don't. Take your foot off the gas. Consolidate your lead. Get yourself in position and then push together. You've got a minute to work with. And I think FearX were just getting sort of baited, just getting drawn into those fights a little bit more than they needed to there. But they still managed to win them. They got the round done. It's 2-1, and that is not great for FearX. Like I said, they need to find a second defensive side. Even if they win down in basement again now, they're going to face a 4-2 half if they can't find a round anywhere above the basement. And I think that could be a big problem because, as we know, this is FearX's map pick. They are prepped. They are ready. It is a map that they like playing. They are going to be good on the defense.
Basement, that's where we head to. I wonder what the approach is from the attacks this time, because it was a little bit strange to see them just gonna sack off the player who was holding blue stairs, where you would like to see them have a go, and a C4 from Blaz. Oh, he never pulled the trigger. 2 seconds earlier, Meffy would have been dead.
Meffy just spraying through the wall there, almost catching his man, but will not find any damage. And the roundabout continues here as they still trying to find an opening kill. 40 seconds in though, and FearX are doing well again. They've got themselves into good positions. They've got a little bit of control here. They're starting to force those Geekay players back towards site. The big problem for the minute, of course, is Rin being such low health, but not the end of the world. They just want to make sure that they keep those Bs available for the end of the round.
Trix gonna drop, and looks as though he has, so everyone is going to be on site. So they've wasted a minute. They've done a little bit of damage here. I'll say a little bit, quite a lot of damage to Rin, but FearX haven't lost anything from it. They haven't lost any of their important operators. You still have the Grim for the execute along with the Capital. You have your ways of opening up the hatches as well. You still have the Thatcher, so everything at the moment is fine for FearX. Just a little bit less time to do it in. I wonder if maybe Geekay are just going to let them do the same thing again, because in Geekay, they know what basement is. They just like to play very static. They didn't really want to move. You have your player in blue. Yeah, I think it's more the pressure on FearX than what it is for Geekay. We know exactly what Geekay is going to do. He's going to sit in sight and just play the utility.
Just going to see the hatches getting open. They haven't opened up the main lobby hatch yet. Nobody's heading over in that direction, so it suggests we're going to be having a push coming in towards server this time from FearX. Decided last time it didn't really work out. They can take blue stairs here potentially. They need to get on in, stop burning utility there, get yourselves down, and then they can think about this final challenge, which is going to be getting the diffuser down. They'll smash that mirror window, no doubt, potentially, and then look to get that opened up.
Oh my word, they put the mirror window to stop the hard breach gadget going on.
It's empty, there's no glass in it. That's smart play from Geekay.
It is. That is great to see them utilize the mirror window in a position that we don't really see all too often, but look, there's still a lot of utility you have to go for, and it will have to be a hatch drop. Nova is ready with the bolts in hand. He also has the case in hand as well. In goes one, in goes the second. Oh, what a swing for Blast! The diffuser's going to be called on the hatch. Somebody needs to retake it. Somebody needs to get in the position. Trix just swings off the hatch as well. Massive kills coming in for GK. Has C4 on the top of it as well. Demic down, another one down. All control for GK. Diffuser once again, not on the hands. Now they pick it up. Has to go for the plant, but another one goes down. Oh, and he wins it. The cherry on top of that round.
So aggressive from GK onto those hatches. How do you win so many vertical fights on the reverse like that? They really did hit their shots, got the job done. GK dug deep, held themselves on into sight. It was a good round from them, but as I said, Demo, we can't get carried away just yet. The next two rounds are the important ones. They've already won basement in round one. They've won it again in round 4. The question now is, can they find a defensive win anywhere else?
You have to say, a great bit of counterplay from GK.
Oh, it was brilliant. Beautiful.
Seeing the attacking lineup for the basement, which was exactly the same. There was no changes there. You still have operators open up hatches only using hard breach gadgets. You didn't bring in your Ace, your Thermite, or your Habana. So you know that's all they're bringing. You then place the mirror window on the server wall, which is where teams will open it up to then get their default plant on. You open that up, you can't open up that wall, you can't plant in the default position, you then have to drop the hatches. Like, just a little counterplay that completely mudded FearX, because they seen that and were like, oh, what do we do? And that's an issue that they had in Chalet, where they're almost like a deer in the headlights. If the initial push doesn't work, how do they come back from that?
Going to be heading up to the top floor then. This was the first second choice site that we saw. So the first site that wasn't basement, that we saw them attempt last time in the first 3 rounds. This time they're going to go there again. It was tough for them to hold on to. They were unable to, and they really, as I said, need to find something away from basement. They really could do with finding 2 rounds, to be honest, and giving themselves a 4-2 half. Look at this aggression again coming in from FearX. I've loved that from them so far. They're certainly not afraid to get in, take ground, clear utility. They are going to drop back out from there. They're not going to be pushing immediately into and through main lobby, but they have got the castle barricade cleared out. They're going to be looking to get another one from the outside here, just taking away so much utility in the first minute from GK.
Yeah, castle barricades that were set up, immediately dispatched with using the Habana, but as you can see, they have the backup castle barricades. The Azami barriers will now be placed in those positions. You can't get through them as well, but you still have the Flores, which is going to be a great counter, as we know, to those Azamis. If you can get them in, bombs away, I suppose, in that element, straight from the rooftop over in through the skylight, and there's the windows. Again, this is the issue that I sometimes have with the top floor. It's just so many angles. You just can't hold them all, and yeah, he gets punished for it. So 4v5 is how it stands with half the round still to go, but if you look at the actual attack from FearX, they're not really setting up in any one direction. They're just poking. They're prodding to see what they can get just in this kind of early stage of the round.
Yeah, I think they're just hoping to do what they've done. Pick up a kill, maybe pick up another one, 5 versus 3, then you can control sight a lot better, potentially get yourself on in, but it's not going to work out as Blaz manages to find one. Neskin's there for the traders, Rim picks up Trix, seriously onto Good Boy. We're in a 2 versus 2, there's a minute left to go here. Rin has gone big on the round to keep FearX in this, but this has been much, much better from GK in terms of finding kills on a site that isn't basement. They've really got themselves in this one, and this could be the location for them to get that second defense.
A whole lot of pressure on Rin, though, as the other players on the window. Rin's the only one in the building, and just both of them try something, and they both get eliminated. A swinging actually happened at the end, but it's quickly dealt with. I mean, Geekay just didn't really move. They just played pretty in static positions, and they just picked up kills here and there, and it worked out for them. I mean, it looked as though FearX, they were trying to push in through lobby, up through Spiral, using the player coming down through the skylight to eliminate the player inside of CEO. As the player then goes up the staircase, they didn't check elevator, which is so strange because there's always something in an elevator.
Yeah, it's definitely done them some damage there. FearX are going to be calling the tactical timeout, you know, no doubt recognising problems like that and making sure that they're not going to continue getting hurt by it, because as I said, FearX, they're going to be looking, a 3-3 split I think on the attack is not the end of the world for them. They're going to be confident in a 4-2 defence. They're going to be confident on their map pick that there's going to be 2 sites that they can lock down. But a 4-2 half in favour of Geekay, and then you start looking at this and thinking, you know, this could line up for overtime definitely here, and then depends who's got defense, who's got attack.
You're here, so probably.
I mean, it probably will, but yeah, FearX, this is, I won't say a crucial round, I won't say a critical round, but what I will say is it's a big round for FearX. If they get this one, then yeah, they take a big step towards winning the map.
Yeah, but obviously 4-2 then, it's an uphill battle. You know, you're right from the get-go.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. It's a swing ground, really, potentially.
But, I mean, it is going to be the open area, which you would expect will go in favour of the attackers. You know, this is quite an easy one to attack just with the layout off it. You know, the big, massive quad wall you open up and you don't really give the defenders anywhere to sit. But I will say, in fairness to Geekay, we didn't really see a full representation of what their actual setup is, because they lost 2 players within 30 seconds just from somebody jumping in a window. So it's not a true representation of what Geekay can do here in the open area. So if they can keep people alive, I'm more interested to see what their actual setup is, because they just didn't get to see it.
Let's move on in then to round 6, final defense for Geekay coming up. And like you say, let's see what they can bring to the table here and whether FearX, without the blitz on side this time, can get themselves into the same sort of difficult and tricky positions for Geekay to deal with. I noticed straight away we do have the Amaru on side this time. We'll see how much of an impact potentially that's going to have. There's no hatches for verticality up into sight, so it's going to be more about, I think, getting into top floor quickly and taking control up there, but haven't really seen too much use from it yet. Blaz is still in a position to be able to fight. Doesn't see the man. Thought that there might be somebody there, but Good Boy manages to absolutely slam Blaz and gets an advantage, but it's fought back. Seriously, Neskin, once again, they've been doing so much trade work and they continue to do it.
Oh, they've tried to stem their attack, having the Ash on Repel, who then opens up one of the archives walls where everyone else comes in through ATMs and straight into archives and tellers. Because look at that, double Ash, you have that long line of sight, you'll probably pick someone up because that's an angle that just doesn't get played. So as a defender, that's going to catch you out. But you didn't have anyone holding on to the main corner of that site, the elevator hallway. The wall wasn't opened up, there was no one holding it, and it just one defender just swings it and catches you in the open. So, just, it's so frustrating because it's a good idea to open up this archives and tellers, but to forget such a basic thing as the elevator corridor, you're going to get punished.
And they did. They really did. Good Boy. He's going to be trying to fight that long angle on into sight. Trix is going to take a lot of damage along the way, as is Neskin. So Geekay, whilst they might have the man advantage here in terms of numbers, they don't have the advantage really in terms of hit points, as there are more on the side of FearX at the minute because of the damage that has been done along the way. Trix and Neskin just going to try and keep themselves off the radar, but I'd be even worried about Twitch drones going in there potentially.
Nova. Does he know about the player in behind the bomb chassis? Now he does. But all Trix needs to do is stay alive. You know, he just needs to almost be the bait for his team. I think Trix is happy enough dying in that position because you would hope that his other defenders can just hold the long angles and wait for the attackers to push in. But 30 seconds, oh, somehow Nova's been allowed to swing across and pick up that easy kill. Good Boy. He's had a few explosives tossed at him as well. He's going to be stuck inside of the small box, and a swing. Neskin goes down. But look at the HP from Nova and Good Boy. A pistol from Seriously comes out as well. He's got the pistol in hand. Oh, 2 shots to Good Boy. Good night. But then Nova swings around, even with the goo mine in his leg. Still picks up the kill. Whew. Why does he have a pistol out? That's what I'm more... Where's his main gun?
In what could be a really important round for FearX there, Nova gets an essential kill, just picking up that round, closing it out, and that gives them the 3-3 half that they needed. Now, moving on to the defense, what do we need to watch in this second half? For Geekay, we need to watch how efficient they are, how well they set themselves up for potential plants, for executing onto site. It is unlikely, or should I say it would be unforgivable from FearX on a number of these sites to allow Geekay to be able to just walk into site and get kills like they did on Chalet. You can't allow that on basement. That can't happen. Top floor, that should also be very, very difficult to do. So FearX, they just need to make sure that that doesn't happen and basically force Geekay to play siege, force them to clear the map, force them to open hatches, to create space for a plant to go down, to use that utility. And then the big question comes in, can Geekay do that in time? Can they do that effectively?
There is one thing I'm just thinking about it now. I'm really surprised that FearX didn't do, that I would assume Geekay probably will, and that is Garage. No Garage play whatsoever, and I think Garage is as much of a difficult position it is to get into as an attacker, because there's always going to be a defender holding it. If you get yourself in behind that truck, you basically have a cutoff between both of the bomb sites. You shut down the red corridor immediately, which is where all of the utility go through from the defense. Oh, Blaz. Oh, how does he get away with it? He's not allowed to do this on Bank. He's not allowed.
If you remember the word that I used about 30 seconds ago, it was that it would be unforgivable to allow somebody to just walk into site and start finding kills on basement. And that at the top of blue stairs is unforgivable from the warding. You cannot allow somebody to just walk up on you and find that kill for free. So much utility. There's multiple Goyo canisters up there. There's so much utility invested in keeping hold of those blue stairs. You've got the warden with the shotgun.
Yeah,
got everything that he needs to hold on to it, and he didn't even fight back. He didn't even know it was coming. It was an easy pre-fire for Blaz. You know, great opportunistic kill from him, but from FearX, that's the sort of thing that's going to lose him this game.
It just shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't. You know, it's all well and good to win on Chalet, a map which is, you know, heavy in the gun skill department. Plenty of avenues. You can kind of go for the crouch walk and those quick takes. Especially in the basement, that shouldn't be happening. I would understand if this is like an open area, somebody slips in the archives and tellers, that happens, but on this bomb site, just that's no way.
It's the whole purpose of why you're there. That's the only fight you're there to take.
It's the anchor.
He just wasn't ready for it. Tuberau is going to be freezing out the lobby hatch for the time being. That's going to be the technique used by FearX to try and keep this controlled on this side of things, because then they know that the push is going to have to come in from elsewhere. They know that it's unlikely they're going to face a lobby drop with 20 seconds left to go, so they're just burning out as much time as they can over there. They'll now recognise that there's a presence inside a server, so they just need to hold off from there. Smart play from Seriously there, taking out those two Goyo canisters inside a site. The other two were positioned up at the top of blue stairs, so once this fire burns out, there should be the opportunity for them to get into site.
Yeah, it's very default right now from Geekay, you know, opening up the main server breach where you can just try and get in there and go for the plant. But there is smoke still. You know, Nova has all three of them ready and is lined up, you know, getting ready to toss them out. And there we go, there's the first one. Two more still remain. And not only that, there's still a C4 as well from Good Boy, but Rin gets eliminated. Just plays underneath the hatch. Damek has the long angle though, Tim. This is the position that he didn't address.
Yeah, it could be a key factor here as they go to push in. Out comes the smoke canister. We see now ticking down to 15 seconds. The smoke can burn out the rest of the round. Oh, he gets in. He manages to sneak his way through. He could potentially put this down, but no. Demek is there for the kill. It was the position you picked up, Demo. They didn't deal with it. 2v2. There's no time. There's no time for Geekay.
I don't know if you've seen it, Tim, but the C4 from Tabaro was aimed for the guy with the diffuser, and as it went off, the unlucky player above has dropped the hatch at the wrong time, and he gets down because of it.
It happens, but that is not good for Geekay. Yes, you'd kind of expect FearX to pick up the basement.
I think it's okay, because that's the basement, yeah.
Yeah, you expect him to pick it up, but the problem is that Geekay are now behind with FearX on the defense on their own map. FearX, they lock down a second site here. Let's say they win top floor, they 5-3 up. They know that they can rotate back through those two. There's going to be a lot of confidence for them to take this map. So whilst it was a great, Mephi was completely switched off there. I think he was like hands off his keyboard or something at that point. I don't know what was going on, but Blaz, you know, took advantage of it.
City, maybe, Timmy.
Yeah.
It's an awe in this area that we are. Venice, who? Venice, who? Paris, who? I shouldn't say that maybe because there's a few Parisians in.
Manchester is everything at the minute, Demo. This wonderful city that is hosting what I'm sure is going to be an absolutely fantastic major for us. It's certainly kicked off in that trend. We've had 2 maps so far, both go to overtime, one on A, one on B, and we continue here towards, honestly, what could potentially be another overtime between these two on Bank.
I've accepted my fate. I've accepted what today is. With you, it's going to be overtime. Every map, every game, maximum rounds. So we'll be casting again another series later on. I could maybe be casting 90 rounds of Siege because of you.
You're welcome.
Wasn't looking for you're welcome. I was looking for, you know, maybe some compensation, Tim.
It's everything that we want. It's everything that we want, Demo. We want every single round of this that we can get. We want the challenge, we want the heartache, we want the tension. We want the big moments as Goodboy goes out of the window, picks up Key and gets away with it for free. There is no Claymore to punish him. He's surely going to lose his life, but he's wasting time. All the time that he's out here. Trix, he's looking for the peak. He doesn't want to take the fight. There's the kill. But 30 seconds and a death from Goodboy.
I know a lot of probably people at home would have been thinking, why is Key looking, or why is Trix looking up at the window where Key just died at? It's because he just can't swing into the Valkyrie. No, somebody could be waiting for him.
Stand and wait for it, yeah.
So he's just playing it very, very safe there. So all credit to Trix has done well just to keep himself alive. And I think it's also noting what operator's on. You're on the sense. That's an impact operator that you want to use to get in and go for a plant. You can't be losing that because then essentially the whole attack idea that you would have in your kind of operator pick phase is, okay, what do we want to do? Okay, let's sense and then we'll try and go for a plant. If you lose the sense, then you don't have the plan no more. So it's very wise that he kept himself up. And yeah, Goodboy, he gets the 1-for-1. I think it's an okay pick, Cabana. It's not going to have the greatest of impact, but still, it's a hard breacher off the board nonetheless.
Rin working from underneath on the Oryx, manages to pick up Blaz, looking for the second jump out, but gets cut down by an x.ke, and that is not going to happen. Seriously manages to pick up Demic, and this is big for Geekay. They need to find attacking rounds. That is going to be the key for them to get a result here on Bank. They now find themselves in a 3 versus 2 with 50 seconds left, Emo. They've plenty of time.
Sense has been tossed in, but Nova not moving. Trix is on the window right beside him. A nade will be popped over, has to force Nova out of the position, back in towards the front desk, and back over again in towards the banana. Neskin is actually going to rotate below. Maybe a bit of a change up here. Maybe looking to attack more so than go for the plant.
Just looking to potentially find a few kills here and end the round. He's going to open up that Kanto angle to force out anybody playing at elevators, but it's not going to do the job. He's got the yellow ping. He knows that somebody's there, but the challenge comes in. However, Nova can't find his shots, and he leaves Mephi in a 1 versus 3. 12 seconds left to go. He knows there's one there. He picks him up. Can he find the second? Yes. No. He's got the down, but seriously, he's there for the trade. Geekay managed to lock down the attack.
Just about.
So close. I thought that his Mephi had gone for that second challenge. I thought he downed him. I thought he downed him and brought it into the 1v1, but maybe, I don't know, maybe the Geekay player just hit the deck. Maybe he just went prone to get out of the line of it. I don't know what it was, but oh boy, that was close.
Because again, Sense is one armor as well, so less HP than other regular operators. So yeah, I'm completely with you, but still.
As soon as that spray come in, I thought he's got the down, he's got it back to 1v1, but no, 4-4. I mean, and this one,
that's all they care about.
This one just continues to go around the merry-go-round, Demo.
I think as well in Knockout Siege, which, I mean, obviously no team goes home just yet. We'll find out tomorrow.
Not today.
But I think it's a lot different than League play. Knockout, I think you just want to win. You don't care how you win, as long as you win. Whereas League, I think you want to try and get better and see an improvement over the course of a longer period. But just a tournament, just win.
Yeah.
That's all you can.
Tournament is all about form.
As you want, So, again, GK won't care.
I've said this countless times, tournaments are all about form.
Yep.
It's about hitting form at the right time. It's coming in for this week and a half, and those being your best games. It's not, yes, you know, don't get me wrong, if you can pick up an improvement here and there, if you can see something and say, oh, we could change that, we could do that better, we didn't do that very well, of course you're going to do that. But like you said, it's not, I think it's probably the difference actually, yeah, there's a little bit about improvement, it's not about growth.
It's
at
improvement
this
if
point.
you lose. If you win, you don't care.
It's not about growth at this point. It's about just coming in and hitting your best games here at the Major and doing what you've been growing for, what you've been improving for over all these weeks is this.
Oh, here he goes again. I was going to say Blaz is on one, but they've got a pulse. They can see where Blaz is. Demic now is getting information fed, but he still loses it. How does he still lose that? All the information in the world, the Blaz still ends up getting a kill.
Yeah, they cannot let Blaz keep getting away with this. That's the second time on the attack that he's been able to go in and get an opening kill that he has absolutely no business securing, and they've got to stop him. That was a pulse onto an IQ. They were already taking the risk of Blaz picking him up, but you get the information, you've got to use it, and Demic was unable to come away with the kill. So Blaz will continue fighting here. He's going to try and push on to Mephi and make this mirror position very, very difficult to hold on to.
Oh, Trix is in. Using the pressure that Blaz was applying, has had enough cover for Trix now to move in and start opening up that floor with the drones. And Raven has been droned out, but they have no idea that another player's coming up through Spiral in towards lobby. I mean, look, that's the power of the Dokkaebi, isn't it? You know, that information that you can just sweep that top floor of ease and just pick out those players who could be in those tricky positions, like Elevator, for example. They just get swept away, and look, a 3v5, you've allowed, again, these kind of cheap kills that just should not be happening, have happened to you. What do you do now if you're FearX? And it looks to be, let's go aggro, let's try and retake here, a double retake on the main stairs, but both have been forced back.
Mephi's going to find Blaz. Trix is down. We're in a 3v3 effectively here. And FearX somehow could hold on. Trix is going to be picked up. I think that's a smart move. Retain your man advantage. 50 seconds left to go. Time not a huge factor yet, Demo.
It's just slowed down a little bit, hasn't it, for the attack? They've done well in initial 2 kills, but nothing really has happened since then. I think right now, if you look from the attacker perspective, you just need to try and get in and get this diffuser down.
It's the difference between the gunfights and the objective play.
Yeah.
GK have the gunfights, the beginning of the round. The objective play is where they're starting to struggle a little bit. They've managed to make some lines of sight that they can use through this wall.
Changing max.
x.ke picks up a beauty onto Good Boy, but Nova is there with one of his own. Cut down on the countertop as we have 13 seconds left to go. x.ke, he's in a position to put the diffuser down, but he doesn't need to, as Trix finds the final kill, and that's why you pick your men up, Demo. He was picked up, and he comes back with the round-winning kill. GK, they get another attack, and FearX, they are on the back foot right now.
Oh, Good Boy. Just so unlucky. He just puts his head at the wrong time. It was, honestly, it was the last bullet of the spray that was put in. You know, you can't get any more unlucky than that. He thought he timed it well. I thought he did as well, but just the last bullet is enough to get him. But boy, oh boy, GK, the confidence, I think, since that timeout on Chalet, the confidence change is incredible. I would say there'd be nerves for GK. There would be nerves. And I think whenever they kind of see that, hang on a minute, we can take these guys. We can take them in the gunfight department. That has just been the mentality shift.
And it's good to see them coming out with this performance on Bank. As we've said, it's the permaban map. They never really play there. And they're coming out and they're doing pretty well. You know, yes, they haven't played sort of objective heavy. They haven't gone in and got plants and stuff. That's it. They haven't, you know, played that side of the map particularly. And you've got to say, you know, against maybe, you know, a top tier Bank team, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle a little bit. But that's not what they're facing at the minute. It's about coming in and it's about winning today. Like you said, we're in a tournament. It's about winning. It doesn't matter how you do it. And GK right now recognise that. And they know that they can bully these FearX players. They can find them in positions where they can take gunfights. Blaz can walk in and get aggressive in their faces and give that advantage to GK at the beginning of the rounds. And GK, I think the way that I would put it, they play into their strengths very, very well at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, look, the plan is not let's get the plant down. Look at their lineup. It doesn't scream utility dump where you can plant with ease. It is more about just, I would say, comfort picks. It's about being able to open up the hatches and then trying to probe and get some kills. You know, look at Ashe, for example, doesn't have the greatest of value outside of maybe mirror windows, but the mirror windows, again, can be dealt with like a Capitao or a Grim, for example, can deal with them with no issue. So, again, it's just a preference, I think, for a player like Plaz to go on that operator with the gun that you have on the Ashe. But, look, right now the biggest issue is going to be this clash. Nothing on the lineup on the attack to deal with that. Maybe they might be able to use an EMP to stop the taser effect, but even still, how do you then get close and, somebody helping the clash, for example? It's going to be very, very difficult, but yeah.
That's going to be the key, is who's supporting Nova.
Yeah.
They need somebody supporting him so that they're not allowing GK to get close. They've shown that they'll play with aggression. They've shown that they'll take fights. So given an opportunity, they're going to go up and they're going to hit that shield. And they need to make sure that that doesn't happen on the side of FearX. Seriously, he picks up Demic with an opener.
The only issue now is that Nova is by himself. No one is near Nova, and Nova, they're just going to ignore him. So he's out of the game, so they're just trying to take a 3v5 on site because they know the clash is just null and void here.
Good Boy's looking the wrong way here. Blaz has dropped into elevator. Good Boy's watching for the lobby push. They are holding on to Garage at the minute. Important fight coming in, seriously. Sprays down Mephi, but can't find the kill. And Blaz, once again, is finding the holes in FearX's back line as he manages to get a big kill to open things up. And 4 versus 1, surely that's the round now, Demo.
Unless Ren can prove you otherwise, Tim, and he gets 1, and still 3 more to find, but it is going to be difficult. We do see a punt attempt. Is that some form of ankle? It's something that he can maybe lock onto. He will swing around the back. He sees it, but too late. Diffuser goes down. He has to cross for the Garage that we know seriously is currently holding. There's going to be no hope for Ren. It shouldn't be as long as GK can just set up, get the refrags, a C4 to no avail. GK just storming away.
FearX feel like they've done exactly the same as they did on Chalet. If you remember, there was those 3 rounds back-to-back, and it was round 9, 10, and 11 for FearX. They just seem to get to a point in a game, and everything kind of switches off. Everything kind of shuts down. Everything, just kind of slows down, and they lose that momentum. And we're here again, Demo. Round 10, round 11, same rounds, and FearX have just failed to show up for the last couple of rounds. And it is a big problem, something that they're gonna need to deal with.
The one thing that I would worry about more than anything is how does the first kill actually come to fruition? How are they losing? Like, I'm pretty sure with Sears in the back, who has died? Who has exposed themselves to either main stairs or a hatch? How, can they not just keep people alive in the site? Because as soon as you lose that first one, it makes the clash have less value. Already bringing in the clash is difficult because you lose a gun. Same way we talk about you bring in a Monty.
4.5 versus 5 almost.
It's difficult in that regard. And if you lose a player, somebody else had to take his position, and then the clash was left by himself, which we've seen that the clash was just alone in server, had no impact whatsoever. But I think that's very wise from GK. If they get gifted a kill, they'll say, okay, we'll just leave that guy, we'll just go for a 3v5 execute, and it's quite easy. And they did that. I love the player going in towards Garage. You need that. And like I said, you get in that Garage position and it just creates that divide, creates that separation.
That's been something that I've been impressed with GK so far, is the ability, the mid-round ability to adapt, to look at what's in front of them and say, actually, this is now what we're going to do. This opportunity's presented itself. We saw it on Chalet, where Blaz just, right, this isn't working.
It's not the default.
I'm just going to walk into site. We've got to get something doing. And I like that adaptability from GK, that ability in the mid-round to just switch things up a little bit. It doesn't have to be a big change in course, but it's enough to get the job done or to recognise that opportunity and to take it, and that's been really good for them.
Oh, back onto the open area again. And last time it was, I would say, a bit of an unfortunate round more than anything.
IED active. If it runs on batteries,
oh, sorry, no, it's basement with an open area hold. That's where we're at. Apologies, I was confused. I was like, no way they go to open area again whenever basement's still there. But look, open area hold, maybe this is what they need. Maybe they need to bring a little bit of aggression into the fray of things and just stop GK from being able to just take the map as freely as what they have been doing.
I mean, already Blaz has taken a lot of damage there. We've commented on Blaz's entry ability, particularly over the last couple of rounds, to just wander in and get himself a freebie that he really shouldn't be getting. This time, they've not allowed it to happen. He's taken a ton of damage, as has Rin, fair enough, but they've fought him off. They've got him backed up, and now they've also got the opener onto x.ke. They've taken the Maverick. That's going to hurt their ability potentially to get the hatches. We've got Tubarao on side that's going to be able to slow things down with those Hibana pellets. It puts a lot more pressure on Neskin to get that work work done.
This is the second time, I would say, in the series that we've seen GK try and actually attack the kind of offsite hold from FearX, and that's twice now. It hasn't worked. You know, that's already, it's not a coincidence no more. That's twice it's happened. So I think actually trying to attack these players in open area has been actually the wrong move by GK. Now it happened on Chalet, and it's happening here in Bank. So something for FearX to look at, and obviously something that GK need to address. It's, you know, what are we doing wrong with actually clearing out away the roamers? But I suppose that's a discussion to see how they do. And another day where they can actually look at that and see what they can improve on.
Again, a lot of focus towards that lobby hatch, but the
this?
drop hasn't really come down. Again, you let him Blaz walk on into sight. He's taking pot shots. He has to back up. He knows that he's been found out in that position. The challenge will come in. He's low health. He can't risk it for much longer. It doesn't really pay off this time.
I mean, Nova has the Echo in hand. Great position just to sit and hold all that information, but he gets naded. Oh, but a shrapnel has hit the Yokai. Have they got the wall open? No, they haven't. They can't even go for a default plant. Down goes Blaz. He was on low HP anyway, and oh no, the hatch drop has not worked out seriously as well. Joins them, and yeah, it's just going to be a lockout. The basics weren't done correct there from GK. They couldn't get that main wall open. You're asking for trouble.
The big thing was the loss of the Maverick. Obviously, I picked up on the hatch element, but if you think back to the last time they attacked onto server, they opened up the main wall with the Maverick. That was obviously the plan for GK, and I've talked about their adaptability in that round, but they've maybe shown us there that whilst they do have great adaptability in some ways, and the ways that I'm talking about, and it comes back to this gun skill versus objective play, if we're looking for kills, and if we're looking for gaps and opportunities, then their adaptability is great. If they play in towards an objective focus, and the plan gets broken down because they don't have the breacher that they want for that area now, maybe not as good. So again, that objective play, just needing more options.
I mean, again, you look at the way FearX certainly been setting up some of their defenses. That was a lot better because they didn't just sit back. You know, they actually took the fight to GK. I think for a long period we've seen it there for what, 3 rounds in a row. It was just GK was getting every trend, every little bit of luck that could have went your way. They were getting that, and I think that comes down to just FearX just asking for it, because you're sat in positions that you're just going to die from. I think you have to move around. You have to do something. You just can't sit there and let GK just win the attack. I know that for some of the sites on Bank, you almost do have to play that way, but you still have to get a little bit aggro. You know, look at, even if you think back to the way FearX had some of their attacks go, you know, we seen GK swinging hatches from reverse, for example.
Yep.
And it worked well, because they're not just sitting back and waiting for it to happen. They're doing something about that. They're stopping them from even getting the slightest inch of confidence going into an attack. And I think FearX, they need to keep that going.
Round 12 then. It's going to be 6-5 GK's second opportunity to close out not just the map, but the match. They could come away with a 2-0 win. They did pick up the opening map of Chalet. If you look to the top right of your screen, our wonderful production team keep that all updated for you. And you can see that Chalet was 8-7 to begin with. GK took that one. They came in here on a permaban map, and they've taken it to the point where they have the opportunity to close this out here and now and move themselves on in the phase 1 upper bracket. They're attacking top floor. They've already won this demo. It was back in round 8.
Yeah.
Can they do it again?
Obviously, the timeout was used. For those of you who don't know, it's not Aloe anymore. That, you know, people probably would have seen Aloe whenever we've seen GK and stuff at the last major they're at. They've brought in a Brazilian coach. They brought in Hellraiser. He's a young guy coming into the fray of things. And obviously, I always think Brazil, you need to have a bit of that if you want to play in this current day and age and the method that you have. So, look, the timeout worked really well from them the last time whenever they done it in Chalet. Let's hope it's enough just to get them the 1 round. You know, it's not much of an uphill battle as what it was in Chalet.
Trying to clear off the Selma charge there. Doesn't do its job, and it's going to allow Neskin a nice, clear, long angle all the way up into elevator. So Demic is going to find himself in a tough position. Going to open up the wall from square into CEO as well. So definitely looking for a plant in that potential area here, GK. Looking to maybe get in behind the desk. But as always, the key position to close out is going to be stock corridor and janitor.
So, right now, if you look on the kind of basis of how the attacks have went previously for the top floor, it wasn't necessarily GK attacking any one way. They were just focused on playing the windows, trying to root out some of the strong positions that FearX can try and sit behind, and more importantly, use the senses, this kind of distraction mechanic. They are up against, of course, the Warden, which is a perfect counter to the sense, but See, it's just there for a bit of a bait. Nothing really that I think FearX need to worry about. It's just more to try and take the attention away from the other lurkers, such as Blaz right now. Look where he is, under the stairs. A nightmare.
1 minute 10 left to go. FearX holding on pretty well so far, but it's about this point of the round they could really do with finding a kill or two, as the pressure is going to mount as we continue. We can see how many holes have been opened up, how many lines of sight, how many angles. Blaz is going for another little crouch up the stairs. He knows the man's there and it's free for him again. He picks up the kill. Does he know about the second around the corner? He does, but can he find him? Yes, he can. A double from Blaz, not just to open up the round demo, but maybe to open up the match. This could be the moment for Geekay, but good boy, he starts fighting back. He manages to pick up one onto Trix. 4 versus 5. Sorry, 4 versus 3, 3 versus 3 as Good Boy manages to get a second. 25 seconds left to go. And Geekay, they could be running out of time. They've got the diffuser back in hand. They're starting to grab more space. It's anybody's. Good Boy can't hold on. And Geekay, they take their first win here at the Manchester Major, taking down FearX.
Oh, what a huge play from that man, Blaz. Again, he is doing stuff that FearX should never let him get away with. What Blaz does, it's not a flashy play. It's just he walks, he finds a bit of space, and he just gets kills. That, like, how is that being allowed to happen? I don't understand. But look, Blaz, he's had a stellar Chalet, he's had a stellar Bank now as well, where he's just appeared. But I've been very impressed with Geekay, because especially for Bank, where we kind of thought it's been a permaban, they're a new team. Bank doesn't really favor the new teams. It's more of a kind of veteran side who would do well at that one. But I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, overall, I think Geekay have dealt well with what was in front of them. They've at times adapted well when they've needed to. I would like to see a little bit more objective play and plants out of them, as we've said. Show us that you've got it in your playbook more than anything.
They planted once the whole series.
Yeah, but overall, I agree. Solid performance. Blaz has been allowed to get away with far too much there. FearX, for their next matchup, for that lower bracket game, they need to be looking at that. They can't be allowing players to wander in and get those opening kills in key positions. That's something that they can definitely pick up on and improve. But overall, Geekay, you know, looking pretty good. And talking about Geekay, talking about Blaz demo, we've got him with Milosh, who can have a quick chat for us.
Yes, we do. And of course, congratulations to Geekay. I got Blaz here with me, the French prodigy who has played now in 3 different regions. How does it feel like to now get a win in your first ever major?
First major, yeah. Really happy. First game in major, first win. For first game in major, really good game from me. I would say I give a lot of good call, and I get a lot of good skill kill too. So I'm really happy.
I mean, it looked like it. You were popping off on the server, and you were so excited, full of energy the entire time. How's it like now to play with a team that, you know, when you're thinking is such a multinational team that has to pivot to English and make it work even here?
It's really good because we have a lot of experience from every region. Me, I play in NA on Europe, so I have a both experience. We have 2 guys from Brazil and people from MENA who play a lot of tournament like Major on 6. So we have a lot of Heidi, a lot of Heidi how people play. So it's really good to the team, and yeah, really good.
All right, well, we get to see more of that energy from you and the excitement in the server later on tomorrow. Congratulations on the win. For those watching at home, if you are subscribed to the stream, awesome. If you're not, make sure to do so, because when we come back, we're going to be taking questions with Seriously from Geekay, of course, Blaz's teammate. And if you have any questions you want to ask him, hey, we leave it open to our subscribers. Make sure to put them in there, and our staff is working on it to feed them into my ears. But all of that and more after the break.